Everybody come in, everybody to the party. We're online, online, we're online. Step into the night where all the stars are bright. We're back again to do this, and we're gonna do it right. Something wild's in the air. I just know.
We come Forgot to unmute myself in OBS. Oh, absolute genius.
Brilliant.
I'm an absolute genius. It's
Yeah.
oh,
I'm just like seething.
for good
I have a
reason.
good reason, but you know.
You have many good reasons to be seething.
Trying not to though. Oh goodness.
Did you say I did the knock? That way we can
I
mix
already
our chats.
accepted it.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
I'm not seeing you on.
It tells me it accepted it.
I'm being told I have a network issue with it. OBS isn't dying. Hold on, I'm just gonna reset it.
Yay, Akko. Yay.
Do this. We'll just do that. Close that. This.
Oh,
Yeah,
Miss
it
Skittles,
says-
thank you for becoming a yippee. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it says you weren't in the
my
thing.
apologies. We're like an hour late today. I need to open that hole. That's really dumb.
Whoa.
I apologize for being like an hour late, but it appears that being an hour late might have been a good because it was just not working. Period. And I don't know why. But I've done trying to like peaceably fix it. Why wasn't I able to highlight message? That I don't know. That's a good question.
Oh no.
What?
Your Twitch died for like half a second.
About it?
Anyway, hey
Talk about
Tempest.
On anybody's.
Hey Temp and Squid. Akko is dumb Squid.
Yeah.
ISPs hate we must join the houses. Chat is Fire Emblem 2 houses.
Yes. Exactly. And how are you?
Bite my tongue.
Don't try and do the knock feature. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Don't
It's-
try.
No, I'm not going to. Chat.
Don't even try.
No mixing of chats tonight. It's broken.
No. It's kind of a retarded feature anyway.
It is. It's just it's nice sometimes for like if it's intentional, you know.
Yeah.
I'm good. I've been busy all day.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put it this way, chat. Basically, stream time is the only time I've been on my computer today. Just cutting out real bad.
Really?
Yeah, chat. There's nothing we can do about it. Sorry.
Yeah, just don't bring it up.
Don't bring it up.
Because I'm
Yeah.
already pissed off about it. The
Anyway.
next step is moving, finding a
Yep.
different apartment.
Yep. So, no octopus dog hybrids today. That might be for the best. We don't need octo dog hybrids. Ugh.
No, we don't.
On the note of hybrids, chat, I'm gonna shill a little bit because this is a big shill thing.
Is it really?
It is. I know I mentioned it to you, but chat, I'm gonna do this. Oh, perfect. I made my chat a promise that I'm
I
going
know what you're talking
to
about.
regret. If I hit 500 subs on YouTube, I will be playing Resident Evil 7.
Mm-hmm.
We are about 115 subs away, give or take 2 or 3 subs. So, if you want me to play Resident Evil 7 and watch me absolutely just scaring myself shitless because I don't do horror things. There you go.
Yeah. Follow Tim. I want to see him do it.
My
Excuse
chat
me.
basically quote unquote bullied me into it.
Bullied you into it. You were okay
bullied
with
me into it. So, unlike some people, because there are many streamers who do this, I went ahead and bought the game before I made the announcement, so I don't give myself an excuse to back out of it.
Yeah. Not going to DSP your way out of this one.
Nope. I bought it, so I'd force myself to do it.
Yeah.
So, if you want to see me scare myself shitless, come subscribe to me on YouTube.
There you go.
I basically wanted to do that while we're live. I'm gonna do it again at the end of the stream because we'll have new people on both sides coming in.
Of course, of
So.
course.
Yeah. Here, I'll put my YouTube in the chat. So. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I had ramen for dinner and like, I don't know if it's agreeing with me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So, but yeah,
Sorry,
chat,
chat, I don't know if it showed it, but I physically cringed there. Just yeah, follow dog. Follow dog.
follow dog.
Dog needs to be terrified. Basically. Anyway.
Yeah,
Anyway,
bully
let's get
me
into this
harder,
before the stream decides
stepdog.
to die.
Yes, we
Let's
should.
get into this before the stream dies because I'm just again I'm already pissed off. So.
All right.
Sam,
I know. Sorry.
say something so I know that you're not
So,
that my internet's not died.
Here, I'm gonna stream this. Whether you can or not is up to you, but I'm going to.
I'm not going to look at it.
I figure, but I'm still going to do my part and at least be a good co-host. Whether you do anything with that's up to you.
No, what I'm saying is I can't watch it because my stream is already having issues.
No, I
so
know.
I'm not going to
You're
look.
fine, Akko. Stop taking it literally. Anyway, so apparently YouTube has started age restricting Balatro videos.
Yes, I saw that. I mean, thankfully, I've never actually played Balatro on camera ever, or have made a stream where it's just Balatro.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's very frustrating for some of the content creators because I know a couple that just make a pretty decent chunk playing Balatro all the time, and I imagine it's not fun for them.
Gambling. I thought Balatro was a silly indie game. Yeah, well, it is a silly indie game.
That's the thing that's really frustrating. Is it is. So,
but yeah, yeah, YouTube is doing this, and basically the devs, because the devs also recently fought with not the ESRB rating, but was it the Australian rating?
I can't remember.
Where they basically made the game M-rated, or well, no, it was the equivalent, I think, of an adult rating in that country.
I want to say it was one of I want to say it was one of them, but
it was. I think it was either the UK or it was Australia. Ironically, the PC Gamer article actually says, "Good thing we are protecting children from knowing what a 4 of a kind is and letting them watch Counter-Strike case opening videos instead." It's true.
Any better.
Yeah, no, and ironically, Asahara responded to this and said, "Papers, Please also got the same treatment, and any and all videos get screwed over by limited monetization." Yes, that also happened. It is very much.
That?
I don't believe so, no. But basically, I'm gonna make this plain and simple. Indie gambling games, quotation marks gambling, and AAA loot box fest games are very different in the minds of these people. Loot box fest
Yeah.
AAA games, perfectly 100% acceptable. Indie games who try the idea of gambling to a certain degree, even if it's like, Balatro or Papers, Please,
Right.
not acceptable. Papers,
Yeah,
Please got
it is. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Papers, Please got effed over by Apple for some reason. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Gacha games are 7+, yet the silly clown game is too dangerous for the kids. No, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, yeah, it's really confusing. A lot of people are saying that this is something that and I do agree with this, that you actively need to push back against this, because if you don't push back against this, they're gonna do it to lesser things in the future, and I'm not for that whatsoever.
Yes.
YouTube has corn ads. I don't. I know that YouTube filters out the word porn. I hate that people have unfortunately had to train themselves to say that because of how censorship works.
Yeah. Like,
But
I started
yes,
saying
yes, they do.
prawn.
Again, I understand why people do it. It just sounds funny, and I don't blame them. I blame the censorship apparatus. Okay, calling it that, it makes it sound like I'm a little schizo. But I blame the people who have made it to where you have to call it that, basically.
Mm-hmm. They really need to crack down on gacha before they come out to the game. They don't need to crack down on gacha. Gacha's fine. The problem with gacha, especially with some games, really try and be like, hey, you should give us money. Give us all of your money to get this, which is not a good way to look at it. What MiHoYo does, at least with Honkai Impact and Honkai Star Rail, was they're like, if you give us money, we'll give you other things for it, but otherwise, we're just play the game. Just play the game. We'll give it to you all for free. Hell, Genshin's a little different because those teams are completely separate. But again, it falls in the same category of gachas are not treated bad. In fact, when gachas are treated bad, it's because of the character designs, like Nikkei or DZZ.
Nikkei is probably the worst culprit in my personal opinion, and I think they do it intentionally.
Yeah,
I think it's very intentional. It's kind of funny though.
So, and then
reject corn, embrace prawn. Yes.
Yeah. Pornography. I need.
It's just pictures of prawns.
It's just a picture of a prawn in a skimpy
Well, okay, hold on a moment. I need a picture.
It's a prawn in a Hooters outfit.
No. Even better. You just not tights. Leggings. Just put a prawn in one legging. Okay, and then give it
But the one legging's around its tail.
Yeah, that's put the legging around its tail, and then give it nice eyelashes.
Yeah.
And then put it on a TV screen and say that this is prawnography.
No, Azure Lane mentioned.
It's perfect.
Water balloon.
I don't feel like Azure Lane is that bad.
I don't know. We did that stream a while ago where we talked about some of the character designs that were being removed. Those.
Fair enough.
So. Let's see.
Fair enough.
Because we're gonna try and just kind of rush through this, so Akko, if
no, we don't have to rush through it. No, we don't have to rush through it. We're gonna go at a normal pace now.
Reminder: catch up on that super chat.
Yes, I if you'd like, I can just read some of the super chats.
Do that now. Do it now.
Okay. I do apologize to Mercenary. Yesterday, the stream ended right when you sent something, and I know why it sent and I didn't get to read it is because we were 30 seconds behind. So you sent it when I was 30 seconds behind already ending, and I apologize about that. But yesterday, Mercenary catching up for $2. Beer bug is a 2020 pandemic from China. Okay, understood. I remember because I was asking about that yesterday, and that is the answer for that. And then McSkittle, thank you for the re-up on your membership. Very much appreciate it. By the way, guys, I deeply appreciate it if you re-up on your membership right now, especially because I am probably going to have to move or get Starlink. We will find out tomorrow because I have messaged my landlord and said you need to do one or the other. Because if you don't do one or the other, I don't know what you expect, because I can't pay the rent if you don't do one or the other, basically. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. So if you feel extra, like if you want to support tonight, I don't like begging people for money, so I'm not going to. But if you want to, just know that all your contributions are going to go towards me either getting a new Starlink or moving. Either way, it's very much appreciated.
Yep.
And then Mercenary for 2, Iwata was the soul of Nintendo. Without him, no soul. Thank you, I appreciate that. Did miss the Nintendo talk.
No, we just started.
Yet. Sly, thank you for the 1. Just sent 1, thank you. And then Mercenary again for 2. Shigeru is the heart, and Reggie is the brains. And the brains is all gone. Sadly.
I don't know about the heart part. Miyamoto has done some things that make us go, but why?
Like
He's had
signing
a
off
few
on the
moments.
Zelda movie.
No.
Or he was the one that signed off on the Zelda movie.
He was the one that signed off on the Zelda movie. With respect to Occo, gonna listen to Temp to keep up to date. I don't blame you. It's better here anyway. We got dogs.
Damn. That's depressing.
So, I don't know. This popped up on... Are you done with Supers? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we're done with Supers.
So, this popped up on my feed. I don't know, like 2 days ago. And it's one of those things of like... I don't know if we should talk about it, but fine. Apparently, there's a rumor going around. And again, take this with a grain of salt, because MCU rumors especially are like... So what the hell? No one can lay down anything. But there's this rumor is stating that Marvel is looking to cast a 30 to 50-year-old Asian actor for a big role in the movie for Spider-Man 4, essentially.
Really?
Which led a lot of people to Mr. Negative, because he's an Asian actor. He's an Asian villain within Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery.
Asian actor? No, he's just an Asian.
He's just an Asian. He was basically one of the main villains of the Insomniac Spider-Man game, the first one. And some people seem to believe that Spider-Man 4 will kind of bounce off of the Daredevil show.
Okay.
Because Kingpin is the main antagonist of that.
Has the Daredevil show like had anything revealed yet? I don't know if we've talked about that.
No. There are rumors that Spider-Man will appear in like the final episode of the first season.
Okay.
But nothing set in stone for that.
Okay.
At least until they show
We just know that it's... We just know that it's coming, or...
Yeah, we just know the movie's coming. That Spider-Man 4 is coming, because they've already announced it. Like,
Okay.
we have a date and we have a name for it.
Right.
But the
Who is
major
Mr.
reason...
Negative again?
Mr. Negative is basically someone who was... I don't know quite his origins, but he was basically...
Don't tell me... Oh, go ahead.
He was subjected to some like reality bending or like some weird science experiment or whatever, which basically gave him... Basically inverted his like colors. Like his skin is blue, his hair is black, he wears a suit, and he kind of throws alternate reality shit at you kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he's also a mob boss, which leans pretty well into the Daredevil show, because Kingpin is the main antagonist here. And some people believe that Spider-Man 4, because it will be a little more boots on the ground, like not like the first 3, but like because of like the events of the 3rd movie, that it will be basically a gang war between Kingpin and Negative.
Interesting.
I have a feeling what's going to happen, because this movie is supposed to take place around the same time as Avengers Doomsday. But
what's that one going to be about again? Or have they not revealed what Doomsday is going to be about yet?
Doomsday is Doctor Doom. It's the Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom.
It's the one that's going to have the Fantastic Four in it.
Yeah, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Avengers.
Okay.
It's gonna be another really big movie, like Infinity War and Endgame.
Allegedly. We'll see if it is
Allegedly,
actually
yeah.
that big.
My tinfoil hat theory about this is this movie will take place after, and we're not gonna know what's really going on until like the end of the movie. But because Avengers Doomsday will lead into Avengers Secret War, and Secret War takes place on a planet, or basically in a space of reality called Battle World, which basically is like an alternate reality New York. It's like in a different part of time and space or whatever. It's where Spider-Man first got the symbiote originally. And I suspect that this movie will take place in Battle World. We just won't know it's Battle World until like the end credit scene. And they're going to use that as a way for Negative to get his powers. Like he will be a normal human being when the movie starts, and it will be because of whatever Doom did in Avengers Doomsday, causing Battle World, which will cause him to turn into Mr. Negative.
Right.
So
interesting.
That's
Mr. Negative is also the cause of turning Eddie Brock into Anti-Venom after losing the symbiote.
Correct. Okay. Yes. So Mr. Negative is a very big villain, but like a lot of people don't seem to think about like him, like when you think of like, oh, Doc Ock or Green Goblin or Venom or whatever.
So let me ask a very bigoted question right now.
Okay.
You said he's Asian.
He is
also super duper smart.
Yes.
And they call him Mr. Negative.
Yes. So again,
wow,
he's always been Asian. So at least they're trying to lean more into the comic accurate side of it.
Yeah, but like it's just funny that they made the Asian super duper smart.
In the Insomniac game, he was actually the owner of the the homeless center that Aunt May was working at. And he got turned into Mr. Negative because of, I forget why, it's been so long since I played the game, but I think it was something to do with Doc Ock or something like that, like on accident.
Yep. Really quickly, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. I'll make sure to shout you out again here when we get to the super chat segment again, but thank you very much. Appreciate it.
They never thought about the stereotype when he was first created. Yeah, because it didn't matter then.
No, obviously no, but like it's going to be something that somebody is going to bring it up and somebody is going to make it an issue. I guarantee you that's going to happen. That's
kind of why I wanted to bring it up, because there are already people talking about how racist it is. I'm not going to bring any of them up because...
Oh, really? It's already been brought up?
Yeah. Like, just random posts across Twitter. I'm not going to bring it up because you know how people are. But it's already been brought up
that's hilarious.
You know, it's, they're being... Not. Read the comics, please.
Yeah. That's... oh my gosh.
Cherry Runner of Feast by day, crime boss by night. Exactly. And that's what I'm thinking is like Battle World, because Battle World is a pretty much villain-infested New York. It could very well lead to a gang war between Negative and Kingpin. Like, I don't think either of them is going to have a big role when it comes to Avengers Secret War. I think that will still be Doom. But I think for the case of Spider-Man 4, that will be the case, and it's going to be like a team-up movie between Spider-Man and Daredevil.
Oh, that would be very interesting. I'd be very interested to see that.
A lot of people are actually kind of excited about
lack
that.
Of knowledge, yeah.
So
there's always going to be fake fans that try and come out and say that something is problematic.
Of course, what's funny about this is the end of Spider-Man 3 is like, oh, everyone forgot who he is. There's also another rumor. Sadie Sink, the woman who played the redhead in Stranger Things.
Which one?
The one where her brother died to the mind flayer.
Oh, okay. The little Irish girl.
Yeah, her. Apparently, she's also playing a big role in this movie. And some people think she's playing the daughter of Spider-Man, which doesn't make sense because the way that has been implied is that...
What?
Exactly. She's a white redhead. She looks exactly like Mary Jane. Which is weird, considering the MCU Spider-Man has a thing for MJ, which is played by Zendaya, which, if no one knows, Zendaya is black. Or at least, I don't know. It's
Zendaya is Zendaya, and I'm gonna be
Yeah.
completely honest with you. I'm getting very tired of seeing her in
I am too.
everything.
I am too.
Like, trust me, chat.
So
I like Zendaya. She's not a horrible person, but she's in everything, and we need new people.
we need new people.
It's not like Brad. Like, it's exactly like with Brad Pitt. Like, you get tired of seeing them after a while. It's just like, give me somebody else. So
Yeah.
incestuous, Hollywood. Holy shit.
Mhm. But then it comes that's come to a point where people have started talking. Is like, wait, how do you get a proper, almost comic accurate Mary Jane out of Sadie Sink's character to be his
Mhm.
daughter when him and MJ were a thing and neither of them have red hair? How do you get there? Which
Isn't red hair
implies
like a gene that you have to have a parent with one?
yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Which then had got people to be like, so does this mean he doesn't get back together with MJ and gets together with a Mary Jane proper?
Right.
Which means he some people have flat out said cucking MJ.
Interesting.
That topic has come up, which is really funny. But yeah, some people are saying Mayday Parker.
Mayday Parker.
Um,
Interesting.
there's also been a bit of controversy because the movie is named Brand New Day.
Uh-huh.
And Brand New Day is the name of a comic book. I believe, confirm, but tell me if I'm wrong, is the same comic where Spider-Man made a deal with the devil to make everyone forget about him because that was after Civil War.
Wait, really?
Yes. It's
Oh,
almost
that's
like,
funny.
considering that was the plot of the previous movie, minus
We don't really know what to
devil?
expect, basically.
Yeah. That was called One More Day. Oh, okay. Which one was Brand New Day? I remember that was the name of a comic for Spider-Man.
Is she from the future? I have no idea.
Possibly. It is also possible that because if this is Battle World, that is an alternate version where, like, and some people have actually said it's very possible that, because they said Spider-Man's daughter, but there is I'm gonna throw a wrench in that. There's also rumors that Secret War will also have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield again. Because
Again?
it's a big multiverse story because they can pull in different characters from across the multiverse kind of thing.
I just feel like they're trying to get...
They are. Don't get me wrong, they are. But I'm going to tinfoil hat that again and say she's not the daughter of the MCU Spider-Man. She's the daughter of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Because he is still with MJ.
I mean, and she does have red hair.
She does have red hair, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's my thought
Aren't there
about
hundreds
it.
of Spider-Man comics? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there are literally thousands.
So, again, I don't know. I think Brand New Day was the justification comic sometime later where Mephisto broke up Peter and Mary Jane. His next attempt at marriage. The only thing stopping Spider-Man from getting with Mary Jane in any universe is Joe. Oh, because yeah. The writers just hate Spider-Man. So, but yeah. We won't know more until probably Comic-Con this year.
Uh-huh.
Because this movie doesn't come out till July next year.
Seriously?
Yeah. Because we're
Why so
getting
late?
this year, we're getting Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. Next year, we're getting Avengers and Spider-Man.
Okay.
Oh, is to heal Mary Jane or Aunt May because no one else could heal her in exchange for. Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember that one. Yes. So, again, we won't know. I don't think we'll get a trailer for this because I don't think it started filming yet. So, probably not till
wait,
early
really?
next year. Yeah. Well, as I said,
Okay.
they're reportedly casting a 30 to 50-year-old Asian actor. If they're still in casting, that means they have not started filming yet.
Right. What have the Nintendorks done this time? We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. We're talking about tiny things.
So, I don't know. as a Marvel nerd, I'm upset with the way they've gone, but stuff like this kind of interests me because, like, would they fix things? Because, like, the MCU's been in the shithole for a while now, with a couple of, I would say, a couple of really good ones after Endgame, which was ironically Spider-Man 3 and Deadpool. So part of me has some mild hope that this one's at least good, because it's not directly Marvel, because it's also Marvel and Sony. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we will have to definitely see. My apologies, chat. I didn't do anything when I got home, so I'm just trying to eat in the background while Temp talks.
Yeah, that's fine.
I hope that's okay.
In other news, Star Citizen crowdfunding passes 800 million.
Isn't that the game that's just been in perpetual, like, crowdfunding?
Yes. Hold on, chat.
Wait, isn't that the one where you could, like, pay $40,000 to get a special ship or something?
Uh-huh.
Why are people still crowdfunding this game again?
It's a popular game.
Are people even able to play it yet?
Yes. You've been playing it for a while. What just fell? Sorry, chat. Hold on. Oh, you know what? I think it just fell. I think it was a screw from my desk.
Suddenly your whole desk just falls apart.
Well, no,
Hopefully
my
not, though.
desk, what happens with my desk, because it's a standing desk, because I have to constantly, like, press a button, it goes up, press a button, it goes down.
I see.
But that causes the legs for the screws, or the screws on the legs, to occasionally fall out. Like, I'm touching one right now, and it's, like, almost all the way falling out. So, it's something I just, oh, and another one just fell out. On my desk, I'll put that back in later.
Temp, that's not sounding good.
It's fine. There's enough weight on my desk that it's not going to fall. But it's just a reminder of, hey, I should fix this after stream.
Ramen? I didn't have time for ramen, so I put pizza in the oven. And I'm
I
eating
actually made ramen, because I made ramen about 6:30, like half an hour before our original starting time. Because I was like, oh, ramen's fast. I'll just have ramen now. And then I
pushed it back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but it does seem to be working a little bit easier.
It is working a little bit better. I mean, had I
still
known
seeing issues,
originally that we were going to be delaying, I would have made something different, because I'm actually exercising. Like, I did 50 squats yesterday. I did 25 full sit-ups today. I'm trying to eat better again. And ramen is not on the eating better part.
Congratulations.
So, but I wanted something fast.
Congratulations about eating better, really.
Yeah. Sucking cost fallacy. Yeah. So, like, I've heard it's still in alpha. The fact it's still in alpha, it's been in alpha for who knows how long. Oh, yeah. It's been a thing.
Right. That is extremely depressing, though.
And
Star Citizen is a mess.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's basically a scam. I wouldn't call it a scam. It's at least playable. If it had raised this much and it wasn't even playable, I would.
You would call it a scam?
Yeah, I would call it a scam. At least it is playable, and you can buy it, and, like, you can pay for a license to play the game.
And so because of that, you can't directly call it a scam.
Yeah.
Right. Understood. It's a pretty good space game.
Isn't Star Citizen the thing that everyone praised or compared to Starfield? No. Well, I mean, maybe, but No Man's Sky was that. People compared Starfield to No Man's Sky. In fact, even Bethesda did. And then Starfield came out, and Starfield is a smoldering pile of donkey shit that should never exist. God, I hate that game.
And not only should it not exist, but fucking No Man's Sky is still eating really good.
Yeah, I'm allowed to get mad. I paid $100 to get early access to Starfield because I wanted the day one Bethesda experience, because the last time I experienced that was the Skyrim, and I loved it. And I did it this time because I wanted that experience again. It was so bad.
Grum's game or Star Citizen?
Grum's
Probably Star Citizen.
No, Grum's game.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Really?
When did
I
Star
guess I
Citizen?
underestimate him.
When
Speaking of
does-
Grums, I don't think this is an issue to talk about. I am working on a Grums video, like an actual critical video, not like not like a Grums TDS video. I actually got in contact to see if he'd be willing to talk to me to answer a couple questions about it. He told me through the person that I used for contact that he is busy working on his game. So you can trust that or not, but according to my source that was going to try and get me in contact with him, he is not willing to do interviews because he's trying to work on his game. So that's cool.
That's good.
Yeah,
in a way
so
that
I'm going to work on that
kinda
slowly.
Gives
Start
you.
working on it this week.
I'm just glad they didn't like just completely blow you off and be like, well, you can't do it because we don't know who you are. It's like, well, you can't do it because we're working. Like, okay.
Yeah, and I don't think that doesn't mean that he won't do it in the future.
Yeah, but right now.
It's nice to know though that at the very least, his focus is his game.
Mm-hmm. Not there's screw.
Yeah, and that's
Sorry.
what I was told.
I like Starfield, but that's because I knew it'd be underwhelming. Look. I had really fond memories of launch Skyrim.
I'm sure a lot of people did. Hell, I know Eva is such a big fan of Skyrim. I didn't ask her what she thought
Like-
of
Let's put it this way, chat. When Skyrim came out, I was using a GTX 750 or a 970.
Oh, now that you've got a new computer, you should play Starfield again.
Oh, I played Starfield on this computer.
Oh, okay. And it's bad still?
Yeah.
Consumer.
Congrats, you're a better man than me. Look, I'm very bad about working out. I'm really bad about eating right. But I'm trying.
That's all that they ask of you, Temp. They want to see a fluffy doggo.
Fluff dog. Anyway, let's see. We did. I want to save that because that's part of the Nintendo conversation. It's Far Cry. That's still Nintendo. Okay, here we'll do this. Apparently, EA is going to be showing off a new Star Wars game soon. And
Oh,
well,
okay.
this-
Did they mention what kind it was?
Yes. Join us
Oh,
at
dear.
Star Wars Celebration on April 19th for a first look at our new Star Wars turn-based tactics game. Be sure to tune into our panel with Bit Reactor along with Respawn to find out more. For those who don't know, Respawn is the developers behind Titanfall, Titanfall 2, Apex Legends, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor.
Yeah. So they know kind of how to make video games.
They know how to make video games, and they've done Star Wars. They're probably the only company post Disney buying it that has actually treated Star Wars with a semblance of respect.
Uh-huh.
Next to, I don't know, Jon Favreau with Mando season 1 and
Right.
2.
Right.
So, and I guess technically Dave Filoni, but point stands. And
Right.
I mean like Clone Wars and Rebels and Bad Batch, not whatever the hell he approved. That was the Acolyte. God.
It's intentional.
Yeah,
And
I
he
know.
proved it intentionally.
Uh-huh.
You think
So-
he knew?
Oh, absolutely.
He knew what trash fire he was about to unleash on the world.
hmm
He should have to pay reparations for all of the Star
No.
Wars fans that had to sit through that.
Really. So I'm interested in this because this is, I think, the first turn-based tactics game, or at least any strategy kind of game that we've had since Empire at War, which was a LucasArts game, like before Disney bought them. So, and if it's Respawn, I'm going to be paying close attention to this because that
Right.
sounds interesting.
What have they made?
Respawn?
Yeah.
I mentioned it. Titanfall, Apex.
My apologies. I thought that they were a company for some reason.
No, they made Titanfall.
Okay.
And they made the two Jedi, like Fallen Order and Survivor games, which are both considered very good and very like
Mhm.
George Lucas lore accurate. At least as much as they can
They
give
ruined
without.
Apex. Chat saying they ruined Apex, apparently.
I mean, a lot of people think that for Apex. I don't play Apex. I don't know. The fact that people are clamoring for E to make Star Wars great again after Battlefront 2. Honestly, Respawn is the only company right now that I would like be like, okay. They're okay.
Right.
I mean, Jedi Survivor had performance issues when it came out, but as far as the actual story, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
My only problem with the story for Fallen Order and Survivor is what's her name? Oh god, I'm blanking on her name. The chick who plays Savathun in Destiny.
The white-eyed woman.
The white-eyed, like, black, bald. I'm not trying to be racist.
Everybody knows who you're talking about.
But I'm trying to describe like what she looks like. She plays basically the Jedi Master training, the main protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the first game. In the second game, she's more of a side character. But she does have you do play as her for one scene and you fight Darth Vader.
Does she win?
She whoops his ass and then she retaliates by killing her. So no, she doesn't win. That
Darth Vader.
And here's the funny part.
That's very sad.
The Darth Vader fight is the only fight in the game I genuinely struggled with. Which
really?
Yes.
You saying a black woman can't lightsaber fight?
No, he was like, it's a big quick time event, and because you have like a lot of like dodging you have to do with him, and he hits like a freight train, as Vader should. You know, in every game she's in, she has giant bug eyes. She is a good voice actor. She is.
So mean.
Like, I really like her as Savathun. I do like her in the 2 Jedi, like, Fallen Order Survivor games.
Yeah.
She will probably be in the 3rd one in, like, flashbacks.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. The old ugly black bit. Okay, you can't say that. Don't say that, chat.
She's very much in just about every video game. The most recent one I know she was in was Suicide Squad.
Well, wasn't she in the Suicide Squad movie as well?
I don't believe so. She's not bad looking IRL. I will counter that by saying she has the stupid ear things, like the things you put in your earlobes.
The hoops.
The hoops.
Gauges?
The gauges. That's it. I hate those. I hate how they look.
You know what's crazy? As I've been like doing a little bit more VR chat just for fun behind the scenes, a lot of people make models in VR chat that have those gauges on. I don't know if it's just like the furries are into ear gauges right now, but like I see a lot of models with them. It's kind of weird.
It's weird, yeah. Vader's the bad guy. Vader's always been the bad guy.
You are a bad guy, but it also means you are a bad guy. Vader is bad guy.
So, realistically, I don't think Respawn is working on this game. It's very likely that at least a sub-team of them is, but I fully expect them, at least Respawn, to announce the 3rd Jedi X game, whatever, in the trilogy. Because, they probably, honestly, Disney's probably going to be like, you have to get this out, because the main character that is probably going to be important to a movie coming up, or at least a TV show coming up.
Well, you think so?
I do, because the way that these 2 games work, so Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, is they use the same facial models of all the actors. So, like, Cal Kestis, the main protagonist of these, like, it is the same of, like, as the actor, like, what he looks like, as it does in the game. Probably to make it so if they wanted to bring him to a live action format, they could, and it would look just the same.
Right.
Same actor, same everything, and they could just make it work.
She looks like a Muppet. I'm not going to say that, chat. That's mean.
You technically did say it.
Even if you are right or wrong, I'm not saying that.
The reason why I say that they have to do a 3rd game before they can bring him into the main Star Wars universe is at the end of Jedi Survivor, he was kind of like in the Ahsoka show, he was locked away in another galaxy.
does that work?
Basically, during the time period, the Jedi Council at that time, it wasn't like Mace Windu, Yoda. It wasn't. It was before that, way before that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically said, okay, we have other problems in the galaxy. We want to expand and basically bring more people to another galaxy as like both a training place and as a evacuation, essentially. Like leave our galaxy if the shit hits the fan and go to this one. And the main protagonist learned of this and was like, oh my god, we can bring people to this other galaxy and escape the Empire. In theory, that works great. Because this was before even A New Hope. So this was at the height of the Empire. So, great. In theory, awesome. But because he stopped another Jedi who escaped Order 66, he became a bounty hunter and basically started working for the Empire instead.
Yeah.
He basically became the final boss. So the main protagonist, Cal Kestis, kills him and takes on his daughter as his apprentice.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's interesting.
It is interesting, but because of how things are in, at least post Return of the Jedi, in order for him to function well within the current like Disney Star Wars universe, he has to not be there and be in the main galaxy.
I could stop being nice, be the brutalist American Europe thinks we are. This is true, chat. I should be more brutalist American.
We haven't talked
about Nintendo yet.
No, we're gonna get there, chat.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Sorry,
my apologies, chat. By the way, if you're a little bit behind, I'm not gonna say how behind you are, but you are a little bit behind. It does seem that like having a delay is helping a little bit. So.
And
the delay in.
I'm admittedly nerding out. I'm a big fan of Marvel. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. So.
You're a big fan of what they used to be.
I'm a big fan of what they used to be. So I'm nerding out a little bit in hopes of like things will get better. Things will not get better.
Realistically get better.
We'll see.
We'll see. We shall see here. Since we're taking a pause here, I'm going to read some more supers if that's all right with you.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Ian Andrews, thank you for becoming an elite yacht member. Well, welcome to the union. And then Heavenly Jester, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. If you got a membership, make you to Heavenly Jester, very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Mr. Schnitzel, by the way, for 2, says fake fans showing their lack of knowledge. Yes, a lot of fans are showing their lack of knowledge 100%.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Exactly. And then Mercenary for 5 says, I fear the Tron trailer just showed us the final act of the movie. If it is mid or even early in the movie, then I have hope we'll wait for word of. By the way, did you see?
I've not watched the trailer.
Movie?
No.
I like watching pieces of it.
I watched the first one, the original Tron movie. I loved it. I watched the second Tron movie. I hated it, and I don't care anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I see a lot of people that are excited. I know my dad is, so we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see, in my personal opinion.
I also didn't grow up on Tron. Like, I watched it, but it wasn't like my thing when I grew up was Star Wars. Like that was my thing when me growing up. So
it's funny is Star Wars was my dad's thing along with Tron, which is kind of funny. Are we there yet? No, we're getting there.
We're getting there, chat. We will talk about Nintendo.
Yeah, we'll don't worry, we'll get there. Will Spain for 2 says it's because she has a lot of followers on Instagram. I'm assuming that they are referring to Zendaya. Heavenly Jester for 5 says, I'm going to be honest, well, I think Grums isn't doing himself any favors. Why aren't those losers on Twitter doing anything about a Star Citizen? Because Grums is the big evil bad guy that they have to slay. Like how Billy Mitchell is the evil guy that people have to slay. And I kind of expect that when Grums brings a lawsuit against the people who illegally obtained some of his information, I expect that Grums is going to become like the new Billy Mitchell for some of these people.
Yep.
Like I fully expect a a similar lawsuit arc where Grum's just BTFOs all of these people in court, and he wins.
You hated Tron? The first one, no. The second one, yes.
How could you do that, Temp? It's classic.
Well, no, the second one was like post Disney.
I know. But it's still
it just wasn't as
classic, Temp.
good.
You can't hate that. It's
okay.
classic.
Maybe hate's a strong word, but I really did not like it compared to the original.
Okay, and we'll have to.
I really like the
We'll
original.
Have to shame him. We'll have to shame him later when stream is not so horribly behind. Anyway, let's see here. Mercenary for 2 says, I think Filoni was intentionally sabotaging KK. What is KK again?
Kathleen Kennedy.
That's a possibility. We'll never know. We will definitely never know, but you know. Let's see here. Heavenly Jester says, again, I want your opinion. I'm thinking of doing a video series on what if anime characters was in a Fallout from stats, who they'd side with, etc. Thoughts. That sounds like a fun idea. Obviously, my opinion is if you want to make content, do it.
Yep.
Just go do it. My thought process is that we need more people making good quality content. So if you want to do something, do it. 100% just go do it. And you have my blessing to go and do it. And if it's interesting, maybe I'll watch it on the channel someday and give you my critique. And let's see here. Gabriel Campos for $9.99. Very much appreciate that. Get that yippee out of here. Very much appreciated. I appreciate everybody that donated to the goal. It did seem like we did hit the goal, so I appreciate you guys. We're gonna again, every penny that you give me is going towards me either moving or buying Starlink, because one or the other is gonna happen. I have told the landlord that I would like to speak with them either on the phone or in person, and either they are going to break my lease to allow me to move somewhere cheaper. I've already been on Zillow. I've already found like cheaper housing in a different part of town, and it's like almost $200 cheaper, and it's an entire apartment. Well, it's not even an apartment. It's an entire house.
Which might be too much for you.
Huh?
Which might be too much space for you, admittedly.
Well, obviously I won't have any furniture in it, but like I'd be willing to move into a tiny house, because then I could have my bedroom, and then I could have my office in another room. And then I could use my bedroom or my office as a taxable room. Yeah. Basically. But no, so like either I'm moving out, or they are going to comp me the amount of money that it costs for the Wi-Fi in the building every single month, so that I can fucking get Starlink.
Occo hit the roommate arc. Yep.
I don't think I'll need to. I think that the place I'm looking at would be nice enough that I wouldn't need one. It's like a 1-bedroom house.
Yeah. Original Tron was also Disney. There is a difference between then Disney and now Disney, though, or at least definitely changed.
Tam doesn't like the new Disney. That's what he's saying, chat. Let's see here. Shadow for 2. I think too many ENVAs are overcast. I agree. Yep. I agree. If we have the chance tonight, we'll watch the video on some VA stuff. Something that I probably should have watched yesterday, but we didn't really have time. We were getting to the end of the 4 hours, but it does sound like it was a really good video, and so if we have time tonight, we'll give it some attention. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. Mercenary for 5 says Tron 2.0 was a video game, was Tron 2 movie, and it could have been better, but I liked the game and wanted more. At least it was great. Legacy had Daft Punk. This is true. Daft Punk won't even be back for the next Tron movie. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, well, it's because technically they're broken up. They're no longer, Daft Punk is not like a thing anymore.
Right.
Like they if I remember correctly, they had a falling out, and then they just stopped producing together. So if there is another movie, I heard that 9 Inch Nails is going to be doing the music for the next one. So
yeah, they broke up a few years ago. I don't pay attention to big bands, chat.
Well, they're not even a big band. They're like 2 people. But I think I know what you mean. You're talking about like big as in like popular.
Exactly. Like as a great example of this, and I'll let you back to super chats, like Green Day or Evanescence with the DMC. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know what that means.
9 Inch Nails is cool.
I mean, I know what that means, but it's not like I care, because I don't care.
Right. Right. I'm very lucky I found a nice little house on the edge of my city. I mean, if I can get this little house that I'm looking at, I'm going to, because I mean, like it's not in a horrible part of town, but it is like it doesn't look like it's not like a star house, obviously. I mean, like no house that's $800 a month is going to be like a star house,
Yeah.
but it's a nice looking place. That's a 1 bedroom, and if I can get to live in it, that would be absolutely fantastic. Anyway, moving on here. This will be the last one before we go back. Ian Andrews for 20, very much appreciated. Thank you. Quote unquote, Nintendo fans are going so far as to wish death upon President Trump because they think his tariffs alone will make the Switch 2 more expensive. They don't consider Nintendo being greedy at all. Adult temper tantrums, God. Yeah, do you want to get into Nintendo now?
I want to see if there is anything else we want to talk about, but I'm pretty sure chat's like, come on, Nintendo.
Well,
Nintendo.
they want to hear about Nintendo. So
Nintendo.
Maybe we should.
All right, let me catch up in my chat and then we'll do.
Okay.
Started seeing an old topic. I watched Tron 2 first when it came out. I thought it was okay. The first was better though. Yep. Who honestly likes modern Disney? New Disney's ass. Yeah, they broke up a few years ago. 9 Inch Nails is confirmed at the end of the trailer. You know what made me happy, Tap? Hearing Goldfinger in the Sonic 3 movie. What's funny is like all these different like singers for the Sonic movies. I'm like, I don't know who you are, except for Live and Learn in Sonic 3. That was Crush 40. That I knew.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that. Green Day sucks. I mean, here's the sad thing: is Green Day was okay until they weren't okay anymore, and it's really only been recently where they've not been okay.
Occo's streamer house. No. Green Day became political shills. I hear the Switch 2 has an awful battery life. All right. I personally think Nintendo will eat the cost of the tariffs in order to keep the price at $450. All right. I guess on that note, we will talk about Nintendo because it's very clear what the topic of discussion is desired.
I mean, that's totally fair. That's what we're supposed to do. Talk about what people came for. That's what the thumbnail is. So.
All right. So I don't have in our docket. I probably should have put a bunch of Nintendo stuff in there, but a lot of stuff we could just talk about because it's everywhere.
A lot of this isn't necessarily, a lot of this isn't necessarily something we have to show. Everybody has already seen a lot of things that have been shown on Twitter already. So like we can just sit and talk about it.
Case in point, Nintendo delayed the date for pre-order. It was originally going to be April 9th. And now it is an unknown period of time.
Yes. And chat, if you're curious, the reason why they canceled it is because a couple days after the preview was shown. Well, first off, we should kind of like walk up to the tariffs in general, because like before the tariffs came in and the price and the thing was suspended, people were already pissed off. So reeling back a little bit, it was the middle of the Switch 2 showcase. And everybody was like, what's the price going to be? What's the price going to be? Why is Nintendo not telling us how expensive the Switch 2 is going to be? And eventually, they would find out that it was going to be $450 USD. And it would be $500 if you wanted to get the edition that has the Mario Kart World on it. Which, by itself, Mario Kart World has also produced controversy because people found out that Mario Kart World would cost I almost said $800. It would cost $80 on its own. And so a lot of people have been getting very upset with that. Very understandable because video games are getting more and more expensive and people are feeling the brunt of that and not very happy about that. Can I get a happy birthday? Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
90 for a physical. Again, false. That is something I wanted to talk about today. There's a lot of misinformation about that. So
you gotta say fake news because fake news is the Trump one.
Yeah, fake news. It is fake news.
Info. Yeah.
It is technically $90 for physical in the UK. It is $80 here for Mario Kart. Here's the thing. I actually want to rephrase myself because I've been saying for days that the only $80 games are like Breath of the Wild, Kirby, Mario Party, and Mario Kart. And then I found out today I was wrong, and it's actually Tears of the Kingdom that's 80, not Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clarify that because I want to be wrong. I want to own up to my mistake.
You don't want to shout out fake news.
Exactly. By the way, it is not actually $90 here in the States. It is $80. $90
Okay.
is in other regions, but not here. So as far as right now is concerned, the highest price we're seeing is $80, which is still disgusting, but better than 90.
I don't think, Chad, I think you all should understand, we are not going to say that we are okay with these prices, because these prices are disgusting.
The only price I will say I'm okay with is the price of the Switch 2. I months ago, and Occo can attest to this, I called it that it was going to be $450.
I do seem to recall that. Yeah, you were like, oh, it's going to be 400, maybe 450. And like a lot of people are going to be okay with the 450 news.
Well, especially
they're just not going to be happy with the price of the game.
Exactly. The price of the game
is going to be what kills it.
Yep. And it's not even that what kills it. It's just going to be like people are going to be more picky and choosy about like what they play. But there are the Nintendo fanboys of like, I got to have everything. I've been saying this. I'm getting a Switch 2. And there's only 2 games right now that are making me go, okay, that is going to be a day one purchase for me on Switch 2. That is Donkey Kong and Metroid. And both of those are $70. Like,
but
I don't care about Mario Kart. In fact, I'm probably going to get the $500 version and just get Mario Kart included. Because at that point, because like I'll pay $50 for Mario Kart. I'm not going to pay $80. $50 is acceptable. So, Carol, me, I'm the Nintendo fanboy. So, like, $70 is a lot to swallow. 80 is nigh impossible for some people.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, like for some people, $80 is like, can't really afford that whatsoever.
Exactly. Like when we moved from 60 to 70 for a lot of games, people are like, I'm done buying games. Like, this is insane. And it's really come down to the point of like people are not wanting to buy games because they're 70. So when we started hearing the rumors that GTA 6 was like, well, we might raise the price to 100. It was like, but why? And then Nintendo just...
Oh yeah, exactly. It's like, but why?
And then Nintendo.
Nintendo came out and said, hold my beer.
At least it was only 80 and not more.
I think a lot of people were concerned that it was going to go up to 100. And I will not say that 80 is like a sigh of relief kind of thing, because it's not. But it's a thank God it's at least not 100.
Pokeslot fans will keep it afloat. Oh yeah, no. Pokemon's gonna keep the thing afloat for years to come.
Yeah, and I should say, chat, here's the thing that really sucks. Obviously, it really sucks that Nintendo is doing this. I am not really of the mind that they're going to back down. And that's not me trying to tell people to not wish that it will get better. I'm just going to go based off of the fact that there are some people that will buy whatever Nintendo puts out and they don't care what the price is. I have seen people, quartering, come out and say that if you can't afford it, you shouldn't buy it. And I got really pissy when he said that, because like, okay, motherfucker, you can't say that and then beg people to buy your fucking coffee, because your coffee, from what I heard, sucks ass. So like, don't come out and like suck the dick of big business and say, oh, buy it. When you beg for people to buy your shit all the time. It fucking annoys me. It annoys the shit out of me.
Like there's a very...
He's not the only example.
There's a very small selection of games I will buy for the Switch 2. Like, I'm going to be keeping it to exclusives. Like, anything I can get on PC, I'm going to get on PC instead. Otherwise, like, as far as Switch, like, Xenoblade's a day one for me. Metroid, probably also day one, because Metroid is fantastic. I've never played Donkey Kong before, but the new game looks really good. So I'm willing it, and also I will need games for my Switch too. Okay, cool. But and Zelda, and probably whatever like new Zelda comes out. Probably not the new Hyrule Warrior, but point stands.
Right.
Like if Twilight Princess, Wind Waker HD both came to Switch 2, I'd probably pick it up for Switch 2. Like, it's a very small amount of games. I don't like the $80 games, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to play it. I just got to be selective about what I'm playing. And I think that's the case for everyone. It's like, you got to be a little more selective. It was Arlo, I believe, that said it, that this is a great opportunity for Nintendo to kind of do what Valve does and just have constant sales. Like you want to charge 80, you want to charge 70, fine, do it, but bring your games out on sale a little more often, please. You know, like even if it's like 50 to 60 bucks on sale, that is still better than 70 to 80. Industry standard doesn't list anymore. It hasn't existed in years. Games back in 90s could go for up to 95. Yeah, exactly. I want Kirby Air Raiders the most. I'll buy a Switch if the port is uncensored. And there also is the battery life. Some people are saying the Switch 2 will have a battery life between 2 to 6 hours. Which is about what the Steam Deck gets. Ish. And that's got people quite mad. Because the Switch 2, like 2 to 6 hours, that's not a lot of time.
Absolutely not.
What I want to know, and I think this is going to be kind of a big thing. So what people do with the Steam Deck is they will, they allow people to use battery backups, to use other USB cords, and it doesn't matter as long as it's got the correct wattage. Like you can charge on an airplane, on a train, wherever you're traveling. Okay, cool, great. But it's harder to do that for Switch because Nintendo specifically made their ports like almost Nintendo branded USB-C. So if you use anything not Nintendo branded, it would almost brick the system.
Like Apple.
Exactly.
Yeah, they've Appleified it.
Mm-hmm. So if Nintendo
so much.
does that, I hope that they at least allow more flexibility with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, put Nintendo games on sale. Oh, look, a flying pig. Exactly. They're not going to make things go on sale. But at least if they did, that'd be at least better. More frequent first-party sales.
And they would make more money, in my personal
They'd make more money,
opinion.
Absolutely. Not defending the battery, but I'm not undocking my Switch 2 anyway. But that's just me. Oh, yeah, no. Like, my Switch 2 will probably very rarely be undocked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll still play it, like, in handheld. But if I play it in handheld, realistically, 90% of the time, it's either going to be in the car for, like, an hour or two, or when I'm at home in bed. Like, the battery is not going to be a problem for me. But that's not the case for everyone. But, you know.
I think it's still just like, why the fuck is it going to be this small or slow anyway? Like, I feel like a lot of people are just like upset that it's going to be this little to begin with on the offset. Like, why? You know?
Reggie had to argue a lot to get Wii Sports as a pack-in title. No way Nintendo will discount their games. King of titles.
Their
Nintendo
tech demo showing you.
Nintendo did announce the welcome tour, the tech demo, essentially. And according to Trauma Alert, that tech demo is going to be $6.
So only $6.
Yes, it is better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be like 10 to 20. But
no, that is
$6 is better, but it should be packed in.
Mm-hmm. Just on the offset.
Nintendo could eat the $6 per, system.
Mm-hmm. They're just choosing not to.
Nintendo, the Apple of gaming industry. No, I'm gonna say that's Sony. I'm sorry.
You think so?
Absolutely. Sony has Sony branded earbuds, Sony branded headsets, for their Sony branded cloud heads or gaming handheld. Like, Sony has everything that their systems could need under the Sony brand.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo doesn't do that, at least to that degree, anyway. Don't forget what happened when some people bought the third-party dock charger for the Switch and it break their consoles. Oh yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. If the Switch 2 is more flexible with how people can charge it, I think that battery will be a little bit better, because then people could take their Steam Deck setups and go, okay, we'll switch to now. It'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
imagine being the CEO of a company and not having the final say. Japan's corporate was brutal. Well, he was the CEO of.
He was the president of America,
um,
Nintendo America.
Yeah, that's kind of the small difference there.
I mean, he was personal friends with Iwata, so he had pretty big leverage. Like, Reggie didn't work for Nintendo. Reggie was friends with quite a few, especially Iwata, and that had a lot of leverage back then. So,
I do think so. Here's the thing. Nintendo has gotten quite a lot of backlash over these decisions and choices. Like anything that has Nintendo, either in a video way, in a live way, people are just spamming for them to lower the prices.
yeah. So that was actually something that was interesting. I didn't watch the video. I don't remember if it was Endymion or Yellow Flash, or Clownfish. Honestly, it could have been any of the three of them.
It could have been any of them. They all probably said it.
That said, Nintendo is scared, and the delay of pre-orders is not actually due to tariffs. They're saying tariffs, but they think it's something to do with the backlash of games, of like the price of the games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much I believe that. I wouldn't be surprised. And I would say, it could be because of tariffs, but literally the same day, I believe Vietnam said that they're talking to Trump and working to get the tariffs flat out removed. So,
yeah. So let's talk about that real quick.
And I want to clarify, Vietnam is where the Switches are made.
Yes, because they moved them out of Japan allegedly
No,
because they wanted to get ahead of the tariffs.
Removed them from China to Vietnam.
Was it in China?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they allegedly moved it out because they wanted to get ahead of the tariffs. And then the tariffs came for every single country, like the Fire Nation.
Yeah.
And so Trump puts that in, and a lot of countries start freaking out. And I am not, again, we're not political here, but it is my understanding that the reason why Trump puts these tariffs in is to, one, get these other countries to drop their own tariffs so that he can then say, hey, I can drop it because you're no longer tariffing us.
Yeah.
And then the other reason is so that he can bring manufacturing back to America for America-made things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why they exist in the first place. And so far, a lot of the countries that he put the tariffs on have capitulated and dropped their tariffs on America.
Yep.
So a lot of those countries, I am expecting to do that. I'm not going to say whether I am for or against it. I know a lot of people that are for or against it. I'm pretty sure I have more people that are for than against it in my chat. But it is just something that's happening. And a lot of countries that he put the tariffs on have already come out and said, let's talk before something happens, basically. Yep. And the country that was making the Nintendo Switch 2s, basically their tariffs were dropped completely. Or
not yet. They're completely in the talking process.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that they are going to drop them completely. But because
Occo. It has nothing to do with other country tariffs. It's calculated from trade debt. Yep. Okay, so I need to do this as okay. It'll be fine, chat. Don't worry about it. But no, Akko's right. It's the tariffs. Vietnam getting a 46% tariff from Trump. Technically, how you will around to 600 for the base model. If they want to keep revenue income for sales the same, yeah. Hold on. So yeah. Hold on. Chat, I need to do something real quick. I'm still live. So Hi. I'm just gonna try and, at least because the show's still going, gonna try and just get people to come over to me. I think Akko just messaged me saying the internet just flat out completely died. Straight up died. Nah, it's dead. Nice try. Well, no, my stream is fine. Thank you. Hello, Rip. Hello. Yeah. That's fine. Otherwise, chat, I'm gonna just hang it from the Discord because there's no point to being in the Discord. So, yeah, as far as and I actually set this up so we could look at this, and I never swap back, so it's fine. Stream went down. I'm not even surprised the stream went down. Akko might come back. I'll just jump. I'll stay in the Discord. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm still live over on YouTube and Twitch for Nightwave. And I need to put my Twitch in there as well because there are parties on both platforms. All right, I'm going to close both of those because Akko is probably not coming back on for the rest of the night. Let's see. Stream went down. Align the Crystal Kal-El. Shameless advertisement. Clicked it anyway. Well, welcome. Oh, Akko is gone. Hopefully Akko gets new internet or just moves. Yeah, I hope so. Glow's at Akko. You're lagging as bad, Akko. I'm lagging? I'm not dropping any frames. My internet's fine. Akko became too base. Can't have that. No, you can't have that. You've been working out? Yes, I have been working out. I started yesterday during my stream yesterday. By the way, so the tariffs, they're claiming the tariffs hit the Switch 2, which I don't believe they hit the Switch 2 to the degree that Nintendo is claiming, but I think Nintendo is using it as like a pretty big deal. I don't think it really truly is. I'm getting lots of buffering and micro buffering. I would refresh the page if you're seeing micro buffering and normal buffering, because I'm not buffering at all. Like, I'm not dropping any frames. So just refresh the page. Tariffs are an odd scapegoat. It's a good scapegoat. It's a smokescreen. Exactly. Was there really nobody around to tell Nintendo that nickel and diming their audience during a global economic crisis was a bad idea? I'm not getting lag. Yeah, so I would say just refresh the page if you're having problems. Oh, we have an octopus. Hello.
Hello. I am not restarting the stream.
I don't blame you. But chat, we got 47 viewers. The highest I've ever gotten.
Congrats.
Fantastic. That's on YouTube anyway. Twitch is even better. They'll use the $6 as feeler to see what they expect on the market for the next few years. Yeah. Tariffs don't explain why Nintendo is charging just to use the chat button.
No, that's just because Nintendo, they want you to pay to use the online feature.
Exactly, they do. They absolutely want you to pay to use that feature, and I don't blame them for that. Let's see. But as far as that, where is it? Let's see. I made a list. So Nintendo is actually making some game upgrades free. So when they did the Switch 2 Direct, they announced that some games, 47 viewers, and all it took was the feds taking out the octopus. Chat, like and subscribe and follow. Again, chat, I didn't do Shill Hour because we were in the middle of thing, but hi, we're trying to reach 500 subs, so because chat wants me to play Resident Evil 7. We hit 500 subs, I will do that. So please like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. My YouTube button isn't working again. God damn it. Fine. Join the Discord, follow me on X, all the fun stuff. Scarlet and Violet will have free upgrades. ZA is about to be $10. So they announced that Kirby, Metroid, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Party Jamboree specifically. There's a couple others, I think, are getting upgrade packages, kind of like what Sony does. Like, oh, if you buy it on the PS4 and you want to move over to PS5, it's just a $10 fee. It's kind of like that. But they also announced that the Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild enhancements will be quote unquote free if you have Nintendo Switch Online. Okay, fine. I don't know if that's going to equate to Mario Party or Kirby as well, but they at least confirmed that is for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. We're already paying the phone.
So those upgrades will be free if you already own it?
Those upgrades will be free if you're paying for NSO.
Okay.
If you're not paying for NSO, kind of like the Animal Crossing DLC or the Mario Kart DLCs.
Yeah, but the Animal Crossing DLC still requires NSO.
It does, yeah. We're already paying the phone companies ISPs exorbitant prices already. Nintendo can eat my dick. I don't blame you. I really don't. Make it $1 and people will still get mad. $10 will just be a visual upgrade. 20 will be extra content upgrades like in Mario Party or Kirby. Yes. So that is happening, and that's actually I don't mind that to a degree, because that kind of leads into the idea of like you are at least paying for DLC at that point. Which is it still 80? Is it still scummy that it's 80? Absolutely. But at least you are not just paying for graphical upgrades. You are paying for something else that you can feasibly do within the game.
Right.
But they did announce that some games are just going to flat out get free upgrades to graphical fidelity and improvements on the Switch 2. That would be ARMS, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Mario Odyssey. I was surprised about Mario Odyssey, honestly.
Is Mario Odyssey like getting new shit?
Mario Odyssey is just getting a free upgrade. So
yeah, but like, what's going to happen?
We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing to any of these games. It's just they will run better on the Switch 2.
Okay.
But like Captain Toad, Mario Odyssey, Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Clubhouse Games, Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, Game Builder Garage, Mario Bros. The U Deluxe, Scarlet and Violet, and Big Brain Academy. There's a few here. It's like, okay, but why? And a few of like, okay, cool. Like Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, Odyssey, 3D World, Scarlet and Violet. I'm really curious how those are going to run on Switch 2.
We'll see if the upgrade is actually like going to do something to the game.
So far, the Switch 2 library don't exactly look tempting. It's going to be a Wii U situation all over again. Well, no, chat, we don't have all the announcements yet. Like, we got the first wave of announcements because they needed to have some games to show off and during the direct, like first party. Metroid was a shoo-in. Mario Kart was a shoo-in. But if they want first party titles, I was admittedly surprised about Donkey Kong. I was expecting.
Yeah, that was not what anybody expected. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm Scarlet and Violet should be free. Well, no, Scarlet and Violet upgrades are free. They're not making people pay for those. So like all these upgrades, these are just straight up upgrades. There are also rumors, and not confirmed yet, that Xenoblade, I think at least 3, maybe even X, are getting enhancements with Switch 2. Which is awesome. I do intend to replay all these Xenoblade games personally with Switch 2, because at least maybe they'll run better. Maybe.
It's a little cope.
Scarlet and Violet will now have faster memory leaks. From what we know, Switch 2 is emulating Switch 2. Yes! So Nintendo is running an emulator on the Switch 2 for Switch 1 games.
So here's a funny thought. I know that they've paid off emulator companies to stop emulating their games. Do you think that there's a chance that they may have paid one of these emulator companies to let them use their code?
Yes, I think it. We're never going to know, but I think it's very possible.
Wouldn't that be just funny?
They're using Yuzu? That would not surprise me.
Is Yuzu that good?
Yeah, Yuzu was the premier Switch emulator.
That is hilarious, honestly.
So, that's the thing. It's like we don't have everything. We're probably getting a direct in June where they're going to tell us more, because June is also originally E3 time. So
Yeah.
and that is also when Summer Game Fest is. So we're probably going to be getting a direct either end of May or probably early June, around when the Switch 2 comes out, and they're going to tell us even more of what's coming for the Switch 2. But right now, they just kind of wanted to sprinkle in what first-party titles we're going to get to keep people excited. And then we're going to get even more announcements as the year goes on. Because they have to, because they still consistently said Metroid Prime 4 is coming this year, but we do not have a release date yet. Besides 2025. So they will need to be telling us when that comes out soon. And I have a feeling that will be a launch title. Because as of right now, the only first-party Nintendo game that we know is a launch title is Mario Kart. I'm sorry. That's not enough. There needs to be a single-player game mixed in there. And some people will be like, well, I don't see Metroid being a good launch title. Mario Kart's a great launch title. But for some people who don't like the multiplayer aspect, who don't care for racing games, who don't care for Mario Kart, that's not enough of a system seller.
No, absolutely not. So they will need to do some more in order to sell the system.
Exactly.
Silksong at launch? I doubt it.
Well, we don't know. That is actually very possible. But again, that's not a first. That's not a first-party title. People who genuinely care about that game will play it on PC. Silksong will not be a system seller.
It'll get more PC titles.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's see. We had, speaking of, apparently, according to Does It Play, according to Nintendo's own support, the Switch 2 Enhanced Editions were false advertising during the Direct. After trying to nail them down for an answer, they confirmed to one of our followers it's just Switch 1 cards with a code for the upgrade. So every game that says Switch 2 Edition is just a Switch 2 cart.
That's funny.
Sorry, Switch 1 cart with a DLC code for the upscaling.
That's really funny. I'm going to be honest with you.
They technically have
Really
Bonanza.
is just nothing new.
It really isn't. They have Bonanza, but Bonanza comes out in a month after release. They need a single player game at launch that's first party, and that's why I think that will be Metroid. Because Metroid looks fantastic.
It's very pretty.
Hollow Knight is overrated in my opinion. Having fairly recently played Hollow Knight, I'm going to disagree. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
It's a fun game, but I definitely can see why some people just don't care.
Oh, I get it too, yeah. Like the Metroidvania style, like if that's not your cup of tea, that's not your cup of tea, I get it. And then apparently, and this leads into the Nintendo stuff fairly well, but it comes down to FromSoft, actually.
In their new game announcement.
So apparently, there was some stipulation from FromSoft. And in the trademark filing in Japan, it says 9th class machinery and equipment, class 41st class education entertainment for a category, product services limited to video game programs with bi-directionality, direct downloadable video game software, downloadable video game software, pre-recorded video game software, pre-recorded video game software, blah, blah. But applicant FromSoftware. This is not Nintendo. So some people are thinking, like Pirate Nation, Dustbloods is fully owned by FromSoft and will be a timed exclusive.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
we will
if
see.
they own the copyright. Did people verify the copyright of
Bloodborne? Yeah, Sony.
Yeah, and it's owned by Sony.
Owned by Sony, and I think that very well could be. They made that stipulation of like we don't want another Bloodborne situation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's nice if that's the case.
Yep. Sadly, Metroid doesn't sell as well as you. No, I know it doesn't sell well, but the problem is that Nintendo didn't announce anything else for single-player first-party titles that doesn't have a release date besides Metroid. Metroid is the only first-party single player title we have that doesn't have a release date besides 2025. It just makes sense for it to come out day one.
They're gonna have to like put out more in order to
get
more people.
They
Probably.
need to put out a slew of game announcements that are coming out this year to sell Switch 2 better, to offset the backlash. Dustbloods, from what I was shown, looks to be a 1v7 PvPvE extraction Souls game. We don't know the exact stuff behind it, especially because Duskbloods is going to be a next year title, like 2026. My guess is it's going to typically be like a typical FromSoft game, but with multiplayer added. Because it's kind of like Elden Ring. Elden Ring was your typical FromSoft experience, but because of maybe the limitations of the Switch, or as well Switch 2 at this point, or other things, they instead took the approach that Night Rain did and has pre-selected characters. But I do think that this will be a typical FromSoft experience.
Mm-hmm. One can hope and pray.
But with the popularity of the seamless co-op mod for Elden Ring, this was a great time for them to make a proper Souls-like or Soulsborne within FromSoft's catalog with the seamless co-op mod, besides Night Rain. But Night Rain is also basically confirmed to be a pseudo battle royale, or well, roguelite.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a proper Soulsborne experience. I think
I'm
Dustbloods
really
will
interested
be.
to see how that's going to work.
Oh yeah, I'm playing Dustbloods, not Dustbloods. Well, yes, but Night Rain when it comes out too. I know Malice and Dom are, so we're probably gonna jump into that together.
How much co-op is it?
The entire thing.
Well, no, what I'm saying is how many players?
3.
3?
3.
That's retarded.
Not like you'd play it anyway.
Excuse me. Yes, I probably would have. Not going to do it now since you said that.
I can give you shit because I have to keep begging you to play games and you don't.
Yeah, because I don't have time, and when I do have time, I just play what I want to play.
Exactly. Chat, Akko never finished Monster Hunter Wilds.
I did actually finish
No,
Monster Hunter
you
Wilds.
did not.
I beat the story.
No, you didn't.
I beat the story. Yes,
No,
I
you,
did.
No, you didn't.
I beat the... No, I did. I beat the final boss.
No, you didn't.
I beat the final boss according to the story that they...
No,
like,
you didn't.
Dude, I got to the credits, so I did.
Anyway, Akko got kicked out of the
Credits
group.
count as the end of the story.
Monster Hunter players, did you beat Akko beat low rank, which is not the end of the story. Akko did not do high
the end
rank.
of the story. It's still the end of the story because there's credits.
Beating this chat is roast Akko for not finishing Monster Hunter.
Beating the story is nothing. I don't care. I beat the story. I got to the credits. That counts.
Epilogue. Credits equals tutorial over. Yes, exactly.
I don't care. I beat the story.
No one tell Akko how many credits drops Sonic and the Black Knight has.
Well, that doesn't matter.
Anyway. So, in the same vein of Dustbloods, FromSoft actually did an article, or Miyazaki, I guess, said in an article with Eurogamer that FromSoft's focus hasn't shifted to multiplayer. Miyazaki says, despite Elden Ring, Night Rain, and Dustbloods. So this is very likely could just be the case of they wanted to use co-op and they are, but this is not going to be the standard going forward. This is just we wanted to, so we did, and I have no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, Gore Magala is the end of the story. Chat. As of Title Update 1, Zoshia is the proper final boss again. So, Akko is filthy casual.
You guys are all, you guys are just mad that I finished something for once.
So, there's not, again, everyone knows everything about Nintendo. It's be mad or be mad, really. And I really hate that because Nintendo used to be like the comfy, like, developers, essentially. Zoshia Armor's cracked. It really is. So Nintendo has a compatibility list of like what Switch 1 stuff works on Switch 2. We'll read this and then we will go ahead and move on to the other topic. Occo has a bad reputation with finishing. Giggity. No, Occo has a horrible reputation with finishing.
I really don't, though.
You never finished a Pokemon game.
Yes, I did. I finished. What was one of the more recent ones? I finished that one. I got to the credits for that one.
Did you fight the Elite Four?
Yes, I did it on stream.
Okay.
I fought Penny too.
Two games I know are Nintendo Labo and Ring Fit, both due to Joy-Con. Yeah, no. Those two I fully expected to not be compatible with Switch 2. But they did say original Joy-Cons can be paired wirelessly, so original Joy-Cons can work on Switch 2. The original Pro controller can work on Switch 2. Basically, all the controllers they announced can work on Switch 2. Occo started with Sword and Shield. That. Nintendo also has the adjustable charging stand, the original dock. Sorry, these are not compatible. Hold on, let me verify. Yeah, so the charging stand, the original dock, the original AC adapter, the original HDMI cable, the micro SD cards, and the original Joy-Con straps are not compatible. But the GameCube controller adapter is compatible. And then the original Joy-Con grip, charging grip, the Joy-Con wheel, the leg strap, the ring con, the battery pack, and the charging stand do not work. So it's a very small amount of stuff that actually works for Switch 2. But the most important stuff does work. Otherwise, chat, like, there's really not much more to go over with Nintendo. Like, we could yell for hours about the bad pricing, but it's Nintendo. They're not going to budge. You just need to be selective about it. I don't know if the mouse function was talked about, but that seems like it will hurt the life expectancy of those controllers. Plus, they look uncomfortable to use. I don't think it will hurt the life expectancy. As far as how comfortable it'll be, I don't know. That's one of those things we gotta feel it in our hands to actually know for sure.
Yeah. Allegedly, they're more durable. They made the end bits out of steel.
There are actually people. It's really funny. Beat 'em ups. I don't know if some people here know who he is. He went to the first Nintendo Switch 2 experience in New York and actually got to play with the Switch 2. And they had a model, or not a model, but like a brick Switch 2 that people could like feel and like mess around with and stuff. And he actually tried ripping the Joy-Cons off of the Switch 2 because it was a brick console, so they could technically. And he fought his head. He could not get it to just pull off. It is latched on, which is great. That's fantastic, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to be way more durable on the system, and they've probably made them way more durable because of how people treat them. So we will see. About Rocket League Wheelchair Edition, yeah, that game is a thing.
Maybe they fixed drifting finally.
I don't believe they did. The wheelchair basketball games looks like it could give me carpal tunnel. I do expect proper mice and keyboards, at least mice, to be made for Switch 2. Like from Razer, from the other like Logitech, from just like the typical companies you would see. I expect them to make Switch 2 braided mice. Magnet technology is crazy, to be honest, even outside the Switch 2 stuff. Oh yeah, it absolutely is, and it's great. Does the new Pro controller have no screw ports on it, or am I blind? I've not seen if it does. It probably does, but if it doesn't, that means Nintendo pulled a Microsoft with the normal Xbox Series controller, because I actually have one. Hold on, let me verify this, because I never saw any screw holes on it. Yeah, there's no screw holes on this. You actually need to pry it apart. There's even no screw holes in the battery compartment. So it's very possible they went that route of like they're there, but they're very hidden because they don't want people like digging into it. When will Nintendo move to PC ports with console releases? My bet is in 4 decades. Oh. Ooh,
Maybe.
I don't know about that one. We'll see. As Fleek said, they leaned into the drifting. You're gonna drift right off the coffee table. Like, I don't blame
Something
people
like that.
for skipping out on this. I really don't. Or at least waiting. Because it is expensive. It is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. Yeah, you just got to be more selective. Like, if you want to switch to, at least be picky and choosy about what you want to play. Not just everything under the sun. And if you don't want to, don't. The Steam decks are great. Steam has constant sales. And if you want to lean into emulation, I'm not going to advocate for it, but it will be there. The more people that skip, the less parents I have to fight for. Oh, no, exactly. Yeah. So, skip, chat. I want to switch too.
Yeah.
Nintendo are too stuck in the past for PC ports. Unless major shakeups happen, we won't be getting PC ports in Nintendo games. No, yeah, exactly. That's why I even said months ago that I will not be buying any Xbox or any PlayStation probably ever again because they're just not doing exclusives anymore. At least Nintendo still is. And to kind of bat for Nintendo, despite the price changes, they've not changed in game quality. Their games, almost for the entire Switch generation, at least first party,
Pokemon games,
minus the Pokemon, are like fantastic. So we'll see. What about those crappy ecchi games at NSO? We don't know about those ones yet. Probably going to be there. With the amount of emphasis they put on game sharing with Switch to Switch 2, crackheads are saying that they're jacking prices up to promote game sharing. I've heard that theory, and it's very possible. Laughs in PC, Steam Deck, emulators. Yeah. I mean, PC is my main platform. I have a Steam Deck. I need to use it more, and I got a laptop fairly recently as well that can do that stuff too. So PC is just my main platform, period. But
same.
Nintendo will be forced to Steam PC games this year. Mark my words, guys. There's an event coming that will force it, and it's biblical and military. Oh boy. Did you see the leak of the South Korean box art for Donkey Kong Bonanza? Spoils who the Rock Buddy is. I've not, and I'm gonna not look. Mostly because that is the game I am looking forward to playing.
Did you see that new monkey girl has already got porn of her on
Oh,
the
I'm not even
internet?
surprised.
People are going crazy over monkey girl.
I'm not even surprised. All right. We'll save DMC for our last big topic. Do you want to watch the SAG-Aftra video?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys vote. Do you want to hear the Actually, we'll do Far Cry 4 anyway, because that's not even gonna take very long.
You're gonna have to stream it now because I can actually watch.
Okay, let me do that. Here. Okay. So apparently, Insider Gaming reported that Far Cry 4 had a patch fairly recently that removed some nudity from the launch from 10 years ago. So
I heard about this.
And now Far Cry was Ubisoft, or is Ubisoft. So, it's kind of, interesting. Far Cry responded to Insider Gaming saying, to clarify, the update was the result of a mistake during deployment. Content intended specifically for the Japanese version of the game was accidentally pushed to the global Steam version. The team has since corrected the error by re-uploading the proper global files to Steam. If players are still seeing anything unusual, restarting Steam and checking for updates should resolve it. Just to reassure everyone, there are no plans to censor Far Cry. This was purely a regional packaging error and has now been fully addressed. Thank you. And Savvy responded, saying, why was it censored for Japan? Was there a recent re-release that caused this prompt, or are there any details you could provide? Censorship is wrong no matter where it comes from, but I wish we had better understanding why it happened. Or did you mean the Japanese version, which was already censored, was accidentally pushed to global? And Far Cry responded saying, the content in question was not newly censored. The Japanese version of Far Cry 4 has included the censored content since launch. What happened recently was a technical error. During a back-end update, the Japanese version of the game, which includes those long-standing censorship elements, was accidentally uploaded to the global Steam version. This was not the intended update for global players, and the issue has since been corrected. Hope this clears things up. And Savvy responded finally by saying, thank you so much for the clarity. Silly mistakes can happen. Glad this was nothing new. Still sucks there has to be 2 versions, but that's very old news.
There was a mistake.
It was
it
was a mistake that it was censored fairly recently. The reason for it, chat, is Japan is very different with some like nudity like this. Like, you have the uncensored animes, you have the hentais, the other stuff like that, but when it comes to stuff like what Far Cry is, like, there comes a point when it's like it might need a little bit of looking at least within certain countries, and Japan is one of those.
What did they censor?
A woman's tits. I don't know the specifics because I've not played Far Cry 4. And no one's talked about specifically what was censored. People forget Japan is still purely pretty puritanical with this stuff. Yeah, exactly. So,
which is funny considering all of the hentai that you see come out of Japan.
Mm-hmm. So, I am glad for the clarification. In fact, it was a way more clarification than I figured Ubisoft would give. But flat out saying, this was an update. We're sorry, but we'll tell you how this happened. I appreciate that.
Speaking of Ubisoft, they did lose an office.
They did. The office that made sorry. It was the office that made Skull and Bones, Star Wars Outlaws, and now Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I mean,
that was the one that was shut down.
Good.
There were some nips in the game. Yeah. This stuff is explicitly adult content. If it had stuff that was probably have to be labeled as one of those types of media to be sold there without, yeah, exactly. So, very much one of those many things. That wasn't really a big one, but I wanted to bring that up because at least I wanted to show the clarification that Ubisoft was giving here.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. I think they only gave this because of Tencent.
Probably.
Okay. We're gonna react to a video, chat, and then after the video, we're going to do DMZ. We're gonna end Nightwave on DMZ for the night.
We appreciate you, chat, for being here. I know we lost like 2/3 of the audience, but it's nice to see you guys here.
It
like
is.
Temp's stream. He'll definitely appreciate it.
Any likes, subscribes, anything, I greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, and pushes, and hopefully you all enjoy the content. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, if I sound butt broken, chat, it's because I am. Fucking
So,
done with the internet.
This is a half-an-hour video from what is Joe Zaja? I know some people in Occo's chat last night were talking about this. So I found the video today, and I figured this would be a good talk. For the temper, sounds like Temp is about to be perm. I'm very confused by that. I liked and sub. Whoa! Thank you. All right. Let me know if you can hear this.
Yeah. Oh, he's got the sigh. He's got the YouTuber sigh.
He does. Whenever you want me to pause this, you just say pause.
Okay.
Oh wait, I probably should.
That's a beautiful face to pause on.
No thumbs up. Occo got buck broken. Probably better internet and Ram Ranch. Yeah, I realized, chat, you couldn't hear it because I actually turned my React audio off. Don't worry. I got it taken care of. I realized that really early on.
Shared humanity over a f***ing gotcha game.
I'm gonna turn that up a bit too.
I'm kind of upset at the Offset that he's
Okay,
saying
guys,
that.
it's time we
I
had
feel
to
like
talk
it's more than
about
that, and he's belittling it to just being about a gotcha game.
I mean, to be fair, he could be very frustrated by all the drama.
I know, but it just feels kind of disingenuous. I don't know. I don't like that.
Why does he look like that guy from The Office? He does. Oh, he does. I hate that. So some people who might not know, I learned of this guy because he does YouTube shorts where he will take viewer suggestion quotes from like different games and just voice them. Like he's done voice cover voices essentially for Final Fantasy 14, for Xenos. He's done some lines for Warhammer. He's not the actual voice actor, but he does these voices in his own way. And very good. Very well done. Why are you not
chat
like?
is agreeing with me.
Like that woman who voiced Paimon? No, yeah. And I'm pretty sure he made this video because of her. Because apparently this video made the union people very mad.
I imagine so.
The funniest part of all this
Anyway.
is learning that Lycon's VA from ZZZ not doing his job for months in solidarity for SAG, then getting fired and not telling anyone. Yeah.
That's funny.
Why is Mr. Fantastic complaining about Chinese gaming characters?
mention Hoyo and the strike because, man, it sucks out there right now. And before I start, I do want to say a big thank you to everyone who I consulted with while I was writing this script, okay? I talked with union members, I talked with non-union members, talent and fans, etc. My goal here is twofold: educate and
Occo, can you do me a favor?
Mm.
Can you entertain chat for like 2 or 3 minutes? My dog is now demanding to go to the bathroom. What a time.
I'll do my best. Hello, chat.
How about this? I'm gonna leave the video playing and I'll pause it when I get back.
Oh, you can't Hassan it. Oh no.
You don't want me to do that?
No, take your
Okay.
take your dog
I-
out.
I'll be right back, chat.
Hello, chat. I do appreciate, by the way, chat. I didn't get to read the rest of the super chats that came in, so let me read some of your super chats that I did not get to read when the stream died. So, yeah, we'll do that. We'll just steal the show so that I can do that. Mercenary for 2 said NIN, and it is a red flag. NIN is not good. I don't know what NIN is. Is that Nintendo Internet? I don't know what that is. You'll have to tell me, Mercenary. I know you're here, so tell me, Mercenary, what that means. Sorry, the internet sucks. There's nothing I can do. Well, excuse me. That is wrong. That is incorrect. I shouldn't say that. There is something I can do. I can move, and that is the plan for me to move. So I am going to move and go get something better. And if my plan is tomorrow is to go to my landlord and say, you will either let me move or you will take rent off so that I can buy my own internet, or I will unfortunately be unable to pay for the internet next month because you will not allow me to make money, and you will just have to kick me out regardless. So there is either the let me move, the let me make me pay less so that I can buy my own Starlink, or force me out of my house in a couple months when I can't pay you rent, basically. So either way, we're getting somewhere better eventually, chat. Hopefully by the end of the month. When you move, don't play Skyrim unmodded. That is the plan. That is the plan. That is the plan. NIN. I don't know what NIN. NIN is 9 Inch Nails. Oh, okay. Why is 9 Inch Nails a red flag? I'm a little confused here. I kind of like 9 Inch Nails. They did a couple good songs in Warframe. I don't like them. Anyway, Mercenary again for 5 says Switch 2 is a deep sale for me. I will buy the games, but not cart and not outside the bundle. But I will wait for sales on all games. Well, if sales do come, good luck with that. I unfortunately now, because I have the possibility of being forced to move, I don't know if I'll be able to afford the Switch 2. I have some savings, but I'm not willing to spend them on a system that I probably should hold back on. If I'm going to have to move, potentially either somewhere in my city or across country, I probably should save every penny starting now so that I can prepare for that, which, it's not what I want to do, but it is what it is.
Sorry, chat. I'm back.
You're good. I'm reading my super chats that got sent after the thing died.
Okay.
Festival for 2 says, I can't wait to jailbreak the Switch 2. Gonna be wild. Well, we'll see how long it takes to do that for sure. And then Rasmus0211 for 20 DKK. Tentacle tax, also back to old model. So yeah, I was using the old model. I kind of feel like I should go back and forth between, because I asked chat like what they prefer, and it seems like it's very split down the middle. There's a small margin of more people that actually like the new model, but there is a decent chunk of people that say they do not like the old model and they would prefer the old one. So I think I'm just gonna have to strike a balance and see where I use it. I think I'm gonna use the clown model for some non-serious news streams. But for news streams or streams where I talk about drama, I'm probably going to use the normal model.
Mm-hmm. I'm in the process of moving now. It's been more expensive than you think. Oh, and it's very expensive to move.
I'm expecting at least maybe $2,000 if I have to move cross country.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
All right. We can resume chat. So, turns out the dog didn't want to go to the bathroom. The dog wanted water.
You had to water the dog.
There's water in the hallway. But I took him all the way outside, and we went outside, and he turned his ass around and was like, I don't want to be out here. So, anyway.
De-escalate. So a big thank you to all the people that helped me get grounded and get the facts before getting started. If you haven't seen my original video where I explain the strike itself, I'm gonna go over a little bit of it again here, but you might want to check that out first before diving into the incredible amount of nuance that I'm about to do in this video. First, this video is designed, and I want you to pay attention here, to outline facts. And in any case where I absolutely have to inject my opinion, I've done my best to make it clear that I'm doing so. It's not here to render judgment on studios or casting directors, Hoyo, the fandom, actors, nobody. The reason I'm making this is because I've gotten so many questions, and the internet situation is so weird every day from well-meaning individuals in the community asking for updates on the SAG-Aftra strike and recasts, etc. Stuff that most actors really don't have any insight on, right? We're just actors. We don't know what Hoyo is thinking, etc., etc. But given that nearly every social media platform has become a powder keg, I'm getting a little tired of seeing our shared humanity deteriorate over a gacha game, okay? The social...
You know what?
Again, it's not just a gacha game. It's not just... Stop saying it's over a gacha game. It's not just over a gacha game. He says it's over just a gacha game, and it's about the fact that they want to own a fucking monopoly. And it's so disingenuous for him to say, I almost want to disregard all of this because of that.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because a lot of this started because of Genshin and ZZZ.
I don't care. I don't really care. Like, it is disingenuous to say that it is just over a gacha game. It is not just over a gacha game. It's about a company that wants a majority stake in making sure that only union members can take jobs for companies that can't even offer that because they don't even exist in the United States.
I get it.
I fucking hate this man. I hate this man already. I'm sorry. I don't like this man. I hope he gets fired from what he does.
We're in 1 minute and 47 seconds in.
Yeah, and he's already like hit a chord with me, and I hate it.
Let him speak.
Social phenomenon that is Genshin Impact and its follow-on Hoyo games have changed the voice acting industry and fandom in many ways. It's very, very unique. Some ways that I don't think are that great. This is my attempt to bring us back to reality with some facts. If you're looking for more toxicity or someone like spilling the tea, you are absolutely in the wrong place on this video. The other thing that I want to say is that I don't speak for any individual other than myself, even though I did a lot of research and talking with a lot of people to come up with the script for this video. The things I'm presenting here are what I believe to be true based on years of working in this industry, conversations with other actors, agents, directors, studios, etc., etc. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a negotiator, or anyone who has the power to go out and affect change, okay? I'm someone trying to spread understanding in my role as a teacher and an actor in a world full of viral social media posts that are both untrue and inflammatory. And that's what we need now. We need shared understanding, okay? This is my attempt to provide it. First, let's briefly recap the SAG-Aftra video game strike. The Actors Union is currently on strike, which means its members are not allowed to work for video games only, for a select group of production companies in the effort of bringing formal protections into our contracts regarding our voices being used for the purposes of AI. This means that actors who are a member of the union, SAG-Aftra, are not allowed to work on those
he's already
certain...
just like avoiding the fact, and my apologies, he's avoiding the fact that already These AI protections are already in place. So again, I just don't trust him. I don't trust him. I'm sorry. That's not right. It's wrong. That's very incorrect, sir. It's a lie. I'm done.
Struck games from those certain struck companies. I'll say it again. The strike is for specific union games, for specific union signatories, for actors that are a member of the union. Games that are non-union, meaning that their companies are not signed to union contracts, are by definition not struck. In addition to that, games...
Temp, was this video made? Yeah, it was made several days ago. Very recently. MommaOcco. Damn. This is two clowns fighting as far as I'm concerned. Isn't Genshin not union? No, MiHoYo's not union because they're not American.
They can't be union.
Yep.
That started production before the strike are also not struck. It's a very confusing atmosphere, I know. But I can relieve that confusion for Genshin fans specifically by saying this. Do you know what company isn't in that select group of production companies being struck? Hoyo. I cannot emphasize enough that MiHoYo properties are not and never have been union games. Therefore, Genshin has never been a struck property. There are 0 union rules governing Genshin or any MiHoYo game, period. End of story as of this date. This is not a debate. This means, and I want you to listen very carefully here, if the SAG-Aftra strike ended tomorrow, this would mean absolutely nothing for Hoyo Games and its actors. If suddenly WB and Formosa, Keywords, all the rest, threw a ticker tape parade and said, we agree to all the actors' demands, yay! Nothing would change for Genshin or Star Rail or Triple Z or any other non-union game. So point number 1, please stop talking about Genshin like it has anything to do with the SAG-Aftra strike. Genshin is not a union game. The actors working on it are not working under a union contract, period. But a pin in...
And I'd love to
They
clarify
like to act like they do.
that he also said other games. He's using MiHoYo games as the launching point because that's how this started.
I know, but like a lot of these union actors really want to pretend like it is. And that's not really a point against him, but like, motherfucker, that's what they're complaining about, is the fact that MiHoYo is not in the union.
Yep.
Part of these people are striking because they want MiHoYo to become part of the union.
And they never will, which is good.
Sorry, I have not watched this video, so I don't know what you can say about that. But...
That's why we're watching it.
that, okay? Because we're going to come back.
The fuck is a union game? Occo actually
It's
been paying a little
game
more
that is
attention to
regulated
this.
by a union. It's a game that's like regulated by only union contracts. If you are not part of the union, you cannot work on that game.
Yep. Some good examples of union games. Destiny 2.
Gross.
I would say Final Fantasy 14, but it's only recently that they hired union actors. But a lot of the actors of that game are not union because they're not American.
And a lot of the union actors they hired suck ass. So.
Yes.
The idea of union and non-union actors in a minute, now that we've sort of covered union and non-union games. Okay, so why the hell aren't actors going in to record lines for Genshin if it's not struck? When the strike happened, many Genshin actors got together in various disparate channels and decided that now would be a good time to try to engage with Hoyo and encourage them to take some action. Actors could use the momentum, the social momentum of the SAG-Aftra strike to include Hoyo properties in the conversation. Again though, it's not a strike, and it has nothing to do with the union. Since this is not a strike, I'm not going to call it a strike. From here on, I'm going to call it a collective work refusal, because it's not governed by any one body like SAG-Aftra. There is no one result desired like a collective bargaining agreement, and there is no penalty for not participating, unlike
Yeah,
the
but SAG wants them to
strike.
sign. SAG wants them to sign. Like, SAG has like come out on Twitter and said, yeah, MiHoYo, you should come out and sign. So you can't say that they can't be included because like SAG has legitimately come out and said, hey, come and sign, motherfucker.
No, they have. We're changing
We're
definitions
changing
now. Okay.
definitions now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I
Again-
said, Chad, I don't like this man already.
At least his voice is nice to hear.
If you are a union member and you cross the line and record games you're not supposed to, you can be penalized. In a non-union environment, that doesn't exist. So What did Genshin actors want? This is where some of the confusion kind of begins. The goal wasn't really totally clear. Some actors wanted them to sign a union agreement and flip union, become a union game. You might have heard this called an interim agreement, which just has to do with an agreement that's going on during a strike, or a full union contract. There's some nuance of difference here. Because Genshin's an ongoing game, they're essentially the same thing. Others wanted them to just add AI protections into their non-union contract. Something like the Nava rider, okay? Which is something that any actor can attach to any contract to legally protect themselves against AI exploitation. And some actors, understandably, didn't really know what to think about the whole thing, but they were motivated by the social side, solidarity, social obligation, community feeling, and this.
I think he's been misinformed or not informed about some details. That is very possible, but
Either that or he is choosing not to omit and obfuscate some
he's
details,
doing,
which...
or it is very possible he's doing things in section by section basis and kind of going, because like he does this is actually in sections.
Well,
So.
let's continue then, because the more I listen, the more mad I'm getting, and that's not really a good thing.
At least his voice is nice. Sounds like people saying Todd is charismatic. To be fair, he is. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
They also refused to work. This is part of the problem of non-union games, or non-union anything, actually. Since there's no actual collective bargaining agreement governed by any union, it becomes difficult for a group of people to take a collective action. In social psychology, you call this a collective action problem. It's very complicated. So anytime a group of non-union actors tries to get together to achieve any result, it's hard. It's hard for us to communicate. It's hard for us to bargain. Since there are no rules in place, any actor is free to just disregard that collective effort at any time with no penalty, unlike, again, an actual strike where you can get fined or kicked out of the union for strike breaking. So, as a result, some actors simply kept working. Some actors stopped working and then went back to work after only a few weeks of refusing to come in. Some actors stuck it out and haven't been recast. Some actors stuck it out.
This is an interesting revelation, because he's basically saying these actors are not getting penalized, because that's why everybody assumed that they stopped working, is because they didn't want to get penalized. None of these people are getting penalized for working on this non-union game, and they're just losing their job because they decided that they're just going to stop working.
Well,
like,
exactly.
That makes it even worse, in my personal opinion. The fact that they are willing to lose their job for something that does not even affect them in this field. I'm not going to say slurs on your channel, Temp, but these people are neighbor cattle, in my personal opinion.
Yes.
These people are just like cattle that are fighting for a cause that is like legitimately retarded. And I hate all of them.
This seems like a clash between West and East, and I side with the East. Yeah, exactly.
And have been recast. Ultimately, the decision to work or not to work has become a very individual and not a collective decision. So you can see how the waters are already very muddy here. Now, let me muddy them further. In January 2025, a new California law, AB 2602, was put into effect. It says that unless there is very specific wording in a contract telling an actor that a digital replica, an AI clone, will be created of them, then it is illegal to do so. That actor must also be professionally represented and not an independent agent. Or the company may not create a digital replica of their work even if they put it in the contract. So an uneducated actor without an agent can't just accidentally stumble into a contract that steals their voice. Since, to my knowledge, no Hoyo contract specifically says they will make a digital replica using an actor's data, they are therefore, by AB 2602, specifically prohibited from doing so. Therefore, any California actor is now protected from having a digital replica made by Hoyo. This means that the barrier for returning to work for many California actors has been achieved. There's more. This law, AB 2602, only prevents a company from a one-to-one digital replica. So Hoyo can't take my voice without my permission and make Risley lines, but it doesn't prevent them from using my voice to train models or blending my voice with another person's to create a new and unique voice. This is kind of like a weird, unclear
This doesn't
loophole
apply.
part of the
Here's
law.
the thing that
I'm
bothers
actually
me.
fairly confident.
This law doesn't apply because it's not a California company, so they don't have to pay attention to you.
Well, yeah.
They don't have to follow the law.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since they're like in China. And China is the land of bootlegs.
Really? Yeah.
So like all of this stuff that he's saying doesn't matter because they don't even have to follow it regardless. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. You're right.
It will get clarified over time, but you also have to remember that the whole world is kind of in a legal flail right now, trying to catch up to the technology. As an aside, right, the Nava writer and presumably the union contract would have that added layer of protection about training and blending. But we're not totally sure right now on the union contract side because that hasn't been agreed on yet, hence the continued strike. So we don't know what that final contract will contain. Genshin being under a union contract would also award the actors the added intended benefit of having the SAG-Aftra legal team behind them. If Hoyo or any company decides to disregard the contract and make replicas,
Get Elf Lawyer and Legal Minds on this. Why we should send this to Ava and have Ava react to this.
She's
not.
I think she's.
I think she left for her
busy
trip.
right now.
She put it in her
Did
Discord.
She
put it in her
say
Discord.
where she was going.
Yes, she said she was going to Disneyland.
Yeah, so she's on a trip right now.
Yep.
Chat, so
But-
she's unavailable.
But we can still send this to her, and if because I don't have any, I've never talked to Legal Mindset. So, if other people wanted to send this to him, that is there.
Mm-hmm.
anyway, it would be up to the individual actor to sue them in a non-union contract. A complicated, expensive thing to do for a single individual, to the point of, honestly, like near impossibility. I'm not gonna go toe-to-toe with Hoyo using my own legal team, which I don't have. But it's much easier for a union with 160,000 members in it to do so on an actor's behalf. Now, the historical effectiveness of SAG-Aftra's legal team could be called into question here as to whether or not they would do the job or do a good job.
That's hilarious. We don't know how powerful the lawyers actually are. They might be good, they might be bad.
This is very true, though.
Oh,
Like, so far, that is correct. Because it also is a lawyer-on-lawyer basis. Going to Disney, I hope she doesn't have a Disney Plus account, or they might try to harvest her organs or something. Oh, no.
oh no, indeed.
Job, but I'm trying to outline the principles here, okay? A union contract would afford an actor the protection if Hoyo or any other game company broke that contract. So, the non-union world has protection via the California law, yes, but not full protection. And if violated, it will be very difficult for a non-union actor to prosecute a billion-dollar company on their own. Are you seeing how difficult this situation is yet? How unclear it is for even the people involved?
I don't care.
Now, could Hoyo make this situation completely vanish by simply signing a union contract? Yes, they absolutely could. It's a good argument to make. It seems like a flawless argument to make, actually, if you have limited understanding of how union contracts work and what the implications are for the company, financially, legally, procedurally. There's more to this than just pencil whipping a contract, okay? Negotiations take time and patience, and the bigger the company, the longer they take. When you're trying to kind of shoehorn a gigantic foreign company into a discussion about United States labor law, things can get confusing really fast. But it is important to say that yes, Hoyo could absolutely make all this go away by just signing a union contract. Talks to
think
that
they will,
effect
though.
have been going on for a long time, with ups and downs and starts and stops, but I can't speak to them as to whether or why not Hoyo is going to do it. We can argue all day whether or not that would be the right thing to do, right? Or whether or not a corporation has like moral obligation or even a more.
Why is he acting like a Chinese company would care at all? I don't think he's saying if they did, this would go away, but he's not saying they will.
Again, I don't think that they can.
But this guy does not understand the legal system in USA. Well, he also said at the beginning that he's not a lawyer, so he could very well be getting some things wrong. And he wanted to clarify that at the beginning because he could very well be wrong. Which is nice to at least understand of like what he's saying might not be 100% correct, and it's not. So,
moral sense of duty. That's not this video. But one thing we can't argue about is that it would definitively bring back every single actor that is collectively refusing to work on Hoyo properties right now. It would bring them back instantaneously. While I've said that these things are complicated, and they are, we also have to zoom out and acknowledge the elephant in the room here, okay? Hoyo is not a scrappy indie dev trying to count pennies to make it by. This is a multi-billion-dollar company operating on a global scale. If anyone has the resources, legal muscle, and the infrastructure to navigate a union contract, it's them. I said I would avoid speculation in this video, so I won't start throwing around ideas as to why Hoyo hasn't done this yet, other than what I've already said. But I do want to emphasize that this action is absolutely well within their power. Other companies like them in China have signed union agreements in the past. So yes, the paperwork is real, the finances are real, the international complications are real, but let's be honest, resource constraints are not the barrier here. And that's part of what's made this situation so frustrating for so many people. The perception, maybe the reality, I'm not sure, that Hoyo could fix this with just a single signature on a union contract and just hasn't done it, right? That's what's frustrating people. Had Hoyo gone union a year ago, many of the actors working on it would have qualified for their health insurance on Genshin alone, a huge, huge benefit for actors. Yes, big corporations take a long time to make these sort of large decisions, but how long is too long? I can't answer that, and neither can people on Twitter. But let's talk about that decision to go union and how it affects more than just Hoyo. Let's spin it around and talk about the actors and try my best to cover all the possibilities here. What happens to actors, both union and non-union, if they do sign an agreement with the union? Contrary to many misinformed Twitter rants, that does not mean that all the non-union actors on the game would get replaced. That's a wildly ignorant claim, and one that's very harmful to progress to spread. The real answer is, as you might expect at this point if you've been paying any attention at all, it depends. It actually has to do with the actor's individual situation.
Pause. Yes, it depends, but more likely than not, because I know that they have agreements where if you are part of a union contract and you're not part of the union, they're going to force you to do it eventually. And I don't believe that SAG has enough goodwill to just allow these people to work without joining them with the union. And I only know that because of Paimon's actor and how she talked about how she was forced into it. So I don't believe for a second that they're not going to try and force people that aren't in the union not to join if they're part of the union contract. So I just think that's wrong.
Why is it only Genshin that gets them their health insurance? Are you wrong? He gave Genshin as an example because it also depends on how much money the project makes. So off Genshin alone, it would cover their health insurance. But that doesn't mean exclusively Genshin.
As well as where they live, bizarrely enough. Let me clarify. If the actor lives in a right-to-work state, such as Texas, then nothing happens at all. Right-to-work laws within states specifically prevent a union from stopping people from working if they're not a member of the union. They can continue working on Genshin forever. If the actor does not live in a right-to-work state, now we're getting murky. You might have heard the term Taft-Hartley thrown around, and I advise you really just don't look too deep into this because it's confusing. It's a piece of labor law that actually has no...
Why do you not want people to look into it? Because I read it and it's pretty shitty. The Taft-Hartley law basically states where you can work a certain amount of union jobs before they force you to join the union. What the absolute fuck? Why not? Why can we not look at... Okay, I want to hear what he has to say, but that sounds very shady for him to say.
Can I just point out, his face right now is wonderful.
Play the video. I am again getting increasingly more upset.
I'm stopping myself from commenting on this guy's channel.
To do with SAG-Aftra. It was written in 1947 and designed as a path to both protect people from being forced to join unions, but also offer them more flexible ways to join if they want to, for our purposes, bringing it back to us. Consider a Taft-Hartley like a temporary 60-day union pass to allow someone who is non-union to work on a union job. After that, they're considered a must join, at which point, like the status implies, they must join the union or stop working union jobs. I'll break here for a second and tell you that it is significantly more complicated than that. There are caveats as to when the Taft-Hartley triggers, for example. It's also possible to negotiate an individual waiver with the union and say, look, I'm only ever going to work this one union job. Please don't make me join. I won't do anything else. And they can say yes. There's flexibility here. These, however, are edge cases that are just beyond the scope of this video. This would be a 5-hour video. In the simplest sense, you can do on a Taft-Hartley a very limited amount of union work as a non-union member before you have to join. And that sort of makes perfect sense if you think about it. The union offers actual tangible benefits, even for a single contract. Reaping those benefits without being a union member and paying your dues is like extending your Netflix free trial indefinitely. At some point, you gotta pay for what you're using. But being able to join the union for some actors can be a really good thing. Getting into the union is a stepping stone in many actors' careers, and it can actually be difficult to qualify for the union because, bizarrely, the only way into the union is if you get Taft-Hartley first and then join. Oh, simple. No, it's not. I don't want to delve too far into union membership here, but it is important to understand and consider why an actor might not want to join the union. The entry fee itself can be steep, depending on where you live. Mine was nearly $4,000 when I joined 10 years ago.
That's even worse than I heard.
That talent would have to know for certain they were going to get.
Ew.
Oh.
I do appreciate I do appreciate he's actually telling us like how much it cost for him when he did it.
Get at least 5 sessions out of Genshin to make up for that loss. That's about how much money you'd make in 5 union video game sessions, depending on the tier that you're in. Again, complicated. Or that actor would have to feel confident enough that they could book other union work to help them bring that number, that entry fee number, back to 0. You do get pension and health benefits, okay? But you only qualify for health benefits if you earn a certain income of union work, around $30,000.
Okay, so that goes back to the Genshin comment when he mentioned earlier, it's like off Genshin alone, you'd apply for this. So off Genshin alone, these actors are making around $30K a year, which then makes them apply for the health benefits.
It's still gross. Still extremely gross. And again, I don't understand why people like the health benefits that come with this and the amount of money that these people make. Again, these are all people that live in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? I'm disregard any union member's opinion. I do too. I'm sorry, but like his opinion doesn't matter to me. So
at least it's informative. Whether or not we agree with him in the end, at least there's some information here we didn't have prior. Like
I don't know, everything he said so far, I've already known.
Well, I mean, like the 30,000 per year thing.
No, I knew that already.
Oh, you did? Okay.
That's typically about what they expect to make. That's how much you have to make in order to qualify for health benefits.
Well, I didn't know that, but at
it's
least
really sad. It's sad that they make less money than I do at my previous job working for Amazon. Like I thought that Amazon was the lowest rung of like jobs that you could get that wasn't like food service, but no, it sounds like voice actors can go even lower. And for some reason, they're making it in LA. I want to know how these people are making it in LA. Like, it's just...
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like, California is expensive as hell. And like, oh my God. Ugh. That's why we're having a bad feeling about him. He actually is on his side. I wonder earlier, quote, he sounds like he's on the union side. There's definitely some comments where he said that's kind of anti-union, where it sounds like he's more on like his side. Yeah. But
a year. You would need to do 30 Genshin sessions to make that. Probably more like 35, which makes healthcare sort of a moot point for Genshin actors unless, again, you're confident you're going to get other union work. You can also break up that entrance fee into a payment plan. So it's not like you'll just get like a $4,000 bill, but it's still $4,000 you might not want to spend. Here's another big one that's become a very hot button issue in the last 8 months. Joining the union also technically prohibits an actor from doing any non-union work, which statistically comprises nearly 80% of all voiceover work available. We call this rule Global Rule 1, so you might have heard that terminology before. When you're union, you cannot work non-union jobs, period. Yikes. So now I'm gonna start dividing the room here in this video. I'm gonna piss some people off because even if you're a little bit of a detective, you have to be asking this question so far. If you're in the union and you're in Genshin, are you breaking the rules? The answer is, no. You guessed it, you've been paying attention. It depends. But yes, probably you are breaking the rules. The it depends part is a caveat in union membership called the financial core or FI core status, which is a complicated legal caveat I don't want to get into here. But if you're FI core, you can legally work non-union jobs as a union member without being penalized. You do lose some surrogate benefits, like the ability to vote in union elections, be on any board or committee in the union, attend union functions, go to union classes, etc. But you do retain health and pension benefits. I say this here because I get that question a lot, specifically about health and pension. There used to be a large social stigma associated with being FICOR. For example, the SAG-Aftra official website still calls them scabs. It's a little strange, but as the landscape has changed over the last 20 years,
I think that's hilarious. I think
Yeah.
that's hilarious. We're gonna call them all scabs. I am just gonna call these people scabs from the outset. Stop working for Genshin, you scab.
See, Akko got something out of the video. Akko got an insult.
Exactly.
In voice acting, it's not quite the reality anymore. Again, 80% of the work out there for voice
Am I
acting.
retarded? Cut out 80% at work. Am I wrong? Am I retard cut of 80% work? What? Sorry. What? Damn, those pearly whites. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Actors is non-union. However, if you're a full union member and you work a non-union job and someone reports you and the union decides to take action, you could get in trouble for breaking Global Rule 1. You could get fined, or you could get kicked out of the union, or you could just get a nasty letter in the mail. It kind of depends. So for a Genshin actor, to avoid that, you could theoretically join the union if you're a must-join after working for over 60 days on a Taft-Hartley, and then immediately go FICOR. You're never actually forced into being a full member of the union. You do, in fact, have options. But the landscape is complicated. The truth of it is, though, that many union actors do
They make
take
it too
that calculated
complicated.
risk.
They make
Yeah.
it way too fucking complicated. This is again why I hate unions. Again, like Espiritu said last night, it's a job within a job,
Mhm.
and I don't want to have to work another job in order to work the main job that I'm here to just make money.
No,
This
yeah.
is why I hate unions. They overcomplicate the process.
I can't stop. Sorry, I meant lose 80% of work. Yes, that phrasing makes you a little retarded, but I'll agree with you. Fair. Sorry, Chad. I'm standing up, so you might see like little awkward movements.
Without going FICOR, because they need to work to live. And again, 80% of the work for voice actors is non-union. There are droves of union actors on the Genshin, Triple Z, and Star Rail cast, and many other incredibly popular games that are doing this. Union voice actors, now on-camera actors, has a little bit of a different culture that makes zero sense for me to go into here.
Okay, so I see what he's doing, and I understand the upset, like focusing specific on Hoyo. But I think he's just narrowing it down to this and also claiming like there are more, but because this is how we started, we're just going to kind of keep within that circle. But this does apply to more than just this. It's just you understand this.
Union voice actors work non-union jobs fairly often. We also call this working off the card, and historically have not gotten in trouble for it. I have several ideas about why, but again, I'm really trying hard to stick to facts and not speculation here. This isn't something you could definitively, deduce. But during a video game strike, the union might take the opportunity to send a message to a bunch of union actors working off card on really popular non-union games to make a point. And that brings me to the real tricky part, the social side of things. Rules and regulations are one thing, but industry perceptions and
Could you explain Iron Wage if possible? Sorry. If anyone can, it's Akko.
Explain what?
Iron Wage.
I am unfamiliar with that term.
Okay. Well, if Akko's unfamiliar with it, I have absolutely zero idea. This is like gatekeeping with a lock that's required multiple passwords, a key, and the Konami code all in one.
Something like that, yeah.
Unions are just...
I hate them.
Yeah. I meant wage, sorry. Oh, okay. What is the best example of like a wage that like we could give? Like just wage? Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
Let's continue watching. I don't know.
Okay.
relationships are something completely different. I want you to understand that I'm not getting to this here because this is not measurable. It is a feeling. It is actually part of the problem in a lot of ways. So when we start asking questions like, well, why doesn't everyone just go FICOR? Or are people being blacklisted for working on non-union games during the strike? These really deal with non-measurable social feelings that can be very powerful, yes, but fall outside the bounds of what I'm trying to do here with this video, which is give as much factual clarity as I can. There are absolutely subjective social effects for doing things like being FICOR, working off the carb, not participating in a collective work refusal like what's going on with Genshin right now. There are also subjective social effects for doing things like reporting other actors who are breaking Global Rule 1, which some see as snitching, or getting involved in online arguments that explode in publicity firestorms. But since I can't define those, I really don't feel like they have a place in this video. Anyone who says they have the facts on social repercussions during a time like this is certainly definitively incorrect, because there is no such thing. But I bring it up here to let you know that actors, and I say actors here specifically because it's hard to define like a company's social influence. Actors are being influenced in their individual decisions by these social factors as well, which are very undefinable. These are questions like, if I work on Genshin during the strike, even though I'm FICOR and it's totally legal, will other actors shame me? Or if I refuse to work and then get recast, what happens to my career? Genshin is my only big project right now, and I'm not confident in my ability to get more work. Actors have to deal with the rumor mill just like anyone else, and it unfortunately plays a part, sometimes a large part, in everything we do. When we also run the risk of things like death threats and harassment online, it makes it even more difficult for us to make clear decisions, speak our minds, or even engage in intelligent, curious discourse with our peers or fans. I can't tell you how many of my colleagues talk about this issue behind closed doors and only behind closed doors, because out in the open, it is just a toxic mess right now. So even if you think you understand what I've said so far about contracts and union membership and the strike, California law, and all of that, there's still the very unmeasurable and very powerful social element to consider. All of the above goes into the single decision of an actor to work or not work on not just Genshin, but many, many projects. I hope you're understanding how complicated this situation is. We're dealing with laws in multiple states, multiple countries. We're dealing with the union. We're dealing with non-union independent contracts. We're dealing with fragmented AI protections, some of which are full, some of which are not. And worst of all, we're dealing with an insanely popular game with a very enthusiastic base of both actors and fans who are consistently, but not necessarily intentionally, injecting misinformation.
Paimon's actor.
Yeah, Paimon's actor is the worst case of this.
Yep.
Into this massive, depressing, toxic gristmill that we call social media. Protected by the anonymity of a profile pic of a cucumber with sunglasses or whatever, people then feel free to take small nuggets of truth, wrap them in a giant cocoon of opinion, then set them on fire and toss them around with a lot of vitriolic language behind them. Because
okay, what are people getting wrong then?
And we're all more concerned with dunking on each other than learning about each other. You know, in some ways, this is a very human reaction. We don't want to operate in a gray area. We want things to be simple and clean. We want good guys and bad guys. Will Hoyo go union? Will they add additional AI protections into non-union contracts instead?
No.
Will they simply recast everyone who's refusing to come in? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not part of these conversations.
They
And to be
already
very
have.
frank, almost everyone who I talk to who said they definitely know about those conversations going on have given me conflicting information, which means that, again, lots of people are saying they know when in fact they don't. And again, if the people on the front lines in this industry don't have all the information, Reddit probably doesn't either. What we do know.
I mean, to be fair, he's probably
I'll
right
agree
there.
with him
Reddit,
on that.
Reddit
does not have any information.
Yeah. Like if you're wanting a social media platform to be like the one that might know, it's gonna be Twitter. Because
Yeah.
it's not gonna be Facebook, it's not gonna be Reddit. The first thing he said, yeah, Reddit as a core source of info. Oh, yeah.
Is that nothing has changed for Hoyo contractually yet. And they have, in fact, recast actors who have refused to come in. They waited a while with their character silent before doing that. What they're waiting for, I'm not totally sure. We do know that Chinese companies tend to not bend to the will of the masses. They don't respond well to mob rule on social media.
No,
we
they
also
don't.
know that other large Chinese developers have signed union contracts with no problem. Should they protect their actors from AI exploitation? Yes, absolutely. No one will argue that. It's a difficult claim to make that actors shouldn't have agency over their likeness. But will Hoyo do it without some sort of intervention law, like California AB 2602, to do it for them? I'm not sure. Will a collective work refusal push them to do it? Evidence right now is not saying so, no, but that could change. I'm not sure. I don't have a crystal ball on this. Will Hoyo fill those roles that it's recasting? We're seeing now that they likely will. They have in the past. They may continue to do so in the future. So actors need to decide individually what they're going to do with all of this data. As you can see, it's not easy. I'm trying very hard here not to comment on specific subsets of this issue about what's going on literally right now with individual people, because a semantic argument really helps nobody at this point. But I will say this, if you're finding yourself on an extreme side of this issue, one way or another, it's probably time to admit to yourself that it's because you don't have all the information. Because once you do have all the information, it's very hard to play this as black and white as social media wants us to play it. If I've done nothing else in this video, what I hope I've done is show you just how confusing this landscape is and how collective action problems can be very difficult to solve. Even when a collective bargaining organization is involved, like the union, you can see that since we're still 8 months into this strike and we've had so many strikes over the last 10 years, it's still extremely difficult to solve this kind of problem. So, when you take a collective bargaining official organization out of the equation in the non-union world, and then make it up to a bunch of individual actors from wildly different walks of life, economic statuses, and personal opinions to try to chart a collective path forward, it gets even worse. So when you see individual people making individual decisions, remember that they're individuals. No one is the villain in their own story. But you might be the villain in somebody else's.
Yes, yes.
With the exception of my several rants about the danger of social media toxicity and mob rule in this video, something I feel very passionate about on the side, I also hope I achieved my objective of teaching instead of influencing, okay?
I have
I'm
not learned
looking
anything
for
new
to
from you,
take
sir.
action. I'm looking for you to understand and think for yourself. My goal here was to break down the many complicated facts of the current strike, how Genshin and Hoyo are involved, how actors make decisions and talk to each other, bargain, build a career in a field that's very difficult to navigate, to grow in, and succeed in. It is my sincere hope that this video will move the global conversation forward toward a productive resolution that respects not just human performers, but human beings. As I wrap this up, I imagine that many of you are feeling a little hollow. You might have come here looking for the right answer, and I've just spent a fair amount of time telling you that there might not be one. I'm not here to give you a best path forward. Other than that, I know that the toxic online discourse needs to stop immediately, and we need to spend a lot more time listening than talking. But on the bright side, this nebulous area is where we tend to thrive.
Who are you guys saying needs to talk then? Motherfucker!
Oh.
Great progress as a society. We excel at taking imperfect circumstances and making the best of them, but only.
We are going to finish the video chat. It's another minute. Not even less than a minute, actually. But I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, we're missing something because we missed like 30 seconds. I don't mean to meet the people. There we go.
If we
I'm missing
communicate,
my brain.
get educated, and engage each other with respect.
Get educated.
Thank you for taking the time to get educated. Thank you for your passion, your creativity, your enthusiasm, your art. Thank you for listening. Go be kind to each other.
No.
Okay, now the video's over.
I hated it. Man doesn't like. I genuinely dislike that man. I hope he's one of the people fired. What does he voice in game?
In Genshin?
Mm-hmm.
In Genshin, he voices Rio Thessley. I have no idea who that is. Someone that came out after I quit playing. Okay. The ice boxer guy? Oh, okay. I always hated the phrase "get educated." It never sounds genuine. Ooh,
My heart is pounding. That's how upset I am right now.
Here, chat.
Why did this piss off the union? He spent the entire video glazing them nasty style.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
Here, this is who it is.
Legitimately.
Oh, here.
Oh, him.
Yeah, this guy.
Risley.
Risley, is that his name?
No, I hate that man. I dislike what. Well, I don't hate people. I hate what they do, but I dislike this man.
Yeah, I don't know why he pissed off the union. Like, when I was told that he pissed people off and like pissed union people off, I was like,
expecting more, and I was very sorely disappointed.
yeah, I was expecting more too, but I guess not. All right. Because we only got half an hour left, chat. Why don't not even half an hour, like less
You
than
got
that.
20 minutes left.
Chat, let's do DMC. Need to pull open our chat again so I can get this stuff. DMC.
I
For
heard it
those
sucked, and that's all I know.
for those that were here for DMC, we're talking about it now. So Netflix's Devil May Cry turns Dante's story into an allegory for a war on terror, complete with American invasion of hell set to Green Day's American Idiot. What do the band Green Day, the country Iraq, and Capcom's Devil May Cry action series all have in common? If you're a person with any sort of sense, you'll know the answer is absolutely nothing. But if you're a producer, Adi Shankar, who is taking bastardizing and giving piece of source material with ham-fisted political preaching to a new level, has used Netflix's Devil May Cry animated series as a vehicle to criticize Americans' post-9/11 invasion of the Middle East. Coming from the same mind responsible for Netflix's previous Castlevania and Castlevania Nocturne and Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix, expectations for Dante's latest small-screen adventure were understandably extremely low ahead of its official release, sinking even further with each new detail revealed about its production, such as its featuring of contemporary, real-world pop culture references in its script, and its ignoring of the game's series' iconic soundtracks in favor of very entry-level new metal picks. Stupidest on the planet, poser punk Green Day is perfect for Shanker. I pray to God he never gets berserk. What's funny is on his desk, and Lumi pointed it out, on this guy's desk was 2 berserk books in a plastic wrap. So the fact that people are saying, oh, don't do berserk, the fact that that's there means he's at least considering it. And though preview materials left fans presuming that the worst they had to fear was from Shanker's latest was an unsurprising misunderstanding of the source material, as best demonstrated by his depiction of Dante as a try-hard, attention-seeking man-child, rather than an aloof but quick to lock and wisecracker, as the old adage goes. Things can always get much worse. Spoiler warning, significant spoilers for the first season of Devil May Cry below. As the fans of the game know, the story of Devil May Cry series revolves around the ongoing, seemingly eternal battle between the good forces of the human world and the evil legions of hell, which in this world is a genuinely supernatural realm akin to its depiction in the Christian religion, and was born from the absolute darkness that existed prior to the concept of light coming into being. As a
I
result,
don't know if all the demons are black, because that's what it sounds like. They're making all the demons black.
As a result of these origins, the inhabitants of hell are creatures of natural evil, existing solely to inflict pain and terror on humanity in order to take over their realm and establish themselves as the ruling class of all existence. And while some are capable of higher thought and even being able to develop genuine love for a human, such as Dante's father Sparta, most demons are nothing more than beasts who care for nothing more than accomplishing their goals. However, in Shankar and Netflix's take on the series, hell is instead depicted as a full-on separate universe a la DC or Marvel Comics, with its inhabitants not being demons, but rather a related but separate evolutionary branch from Homo sapiens. Oh, good. Okay. They are natives from another universe, one that exists parallel to our own, explains Dr. Fisher, the scientific director for the series' mysterious Darkcom group, to the president and his joint chief of staffs of a mysterious terrorist group that laid waste to the Vatican just hours prior to the start of the first episode. My current hypothesis is that one of our common ancestors found their way into this other universe where they adapted and became stronger, able to survive the more hostile environment there. Pressed by one of the government boards, government board members, just to be clear, the hostile environment you're talking about is hell. Dr. Fisher pushes back. Mythology exists to explain reality. Why do you think every culture on Earth tells the same stories about demons in the underworld? To this end, it is further revealed that rather than a world of fire, brimstone, and eternal pain, hell, or the Japanese Makai, as its inhabitants refer to it, is instead a planet whose surface has been absolutely ravaged by the plundering of the demon's upper castes. In doing so, practically leaving its lower class, more human inhabitants to either die by starvation or by choking on polluted air. Either enter the series' main antagonist, the White Rabbit, who has made it his mission to help those suffering in Makai to cross over to Earth in the hopes of escaping their torment and someday thriving, even if it means his forceful manipulations of the barrier between the two planes allows for the occasional monstrous demon to cross over and wreak havoc. So what you're saying is that this is Mexico.
Yeah, I'm not ever gonna touch this show with a 50-foot pole.
This very on the nose demons equals refugees analogy is driven home even harder in episode 5, Descent, when Lady, acting on orders to storm a local tenement building occupied by the White Rabbit's forces and either arrest or kill any and all demons, is impeded in her efforts by the series' rendition of the Cavalier Angelo demon, which shouldn't exist given the series' established timeline, as it doesn't seem as if Dante has even fought the original Nello Angelo yet, but I digress. Promptly finding herself on the ropes, Lady attempts to duck away and hide inside of a nearby apartment, begging with its scared occupants, a family of 3, for help before reluctantly being allowed in. After managing to evade a subsequent sweep of the apartment by Cavalier Angelo and finding herself shocked that the family were not human but demon, Lady, under the influence of a hallucinogen lobbed at her by said enemy, begins to mistake her hosts for aggressive hellspawn, prompting her to draw her gun on them under the assumption of self-defense. With the tension rising between both parties by the second, Lady and the family's mother and father proceed to have the following conversation. Father, now you turned your guns on us, on our kids. Lady, your friends slaughtered my team. Father, you think we're with them. You think we're with them? Mother, she's a sapient. Of course she thinks all demons are the same. Lady, if you're not with the White Rabbit's gang, why are you here? Father, we needed a way out. He had one. Lady, a way out of where? Mother, Makai, you call it the demon realm or hell, but it's not hell. It's worse, a desolate place, barely suited for life, and that was before the warlords ravaged what few resources we had and turned the atmosphere toxic. Only the strongest Makaians can stand to breathe it for those like us. Father, the air itself is poison. Children rarely survive their first year. We couldn't accept their fate. The White Rabbit showed up with a device to bridge the worlds. A year ago, offering passage to anyone who wanted, dozens of families like us came. Mother, we did it so our children could live and live in a better world. Then we realized there is no better world for us. Sapiens hate and fear our kind. We'll never be able to mix openly amongst you. Father, we have no choice but to stay here in hiding, doing whatever that lunatic tells us, turning a blind eye to his. Mother, the children who are orphans, he does tests on them, experiments. Father, we're all trying to survive. All we're trying to do is survive, like you. And to really drive this 9th grade AP US politics level criticism of the Iraq home, enter the series' overarching villain, the United States Vice President William Baines, as voiced by the late, great Kevin Conroy in one of his final performances. Oh, good! Let's butcher the man even more. Awesome. As deeply religious man, a deeply religious man whose utmost beliefs amounts to everything according to God's plan, Baines funds the ongoing research into and the military actions against hell under the belief that it is the United States' duty to save the collective souls of humanity by waging the final war against hell itself. Even I, for much of my life, could not comprehend his true plans. The VP pontificates as his plan begins to come to fruition in the season finale. God has never asked us to idly buy and await his kingdom on earth, but to build it ourselves. Ultimately, getting his hands on the White Rabbit's aforementioned devices, Baines proceeds to rip open a tear between Earth and Hell, and that's when the squadron of fighter jets begins raining missiles into Hell, kicking off a full-on montage set to the tune of Green Day's American Idiot, depicting the American military undertaking a War on Freedom era invasion of the alternate universe. My fellow Americans, what I am about to tell you is going to sound shocking, declares US President Hopper over footage of the Ouroboros Corporation establishing in a corporate foothold Hell, rounding up its citizens and mining its soil for natural resources. Even unbelievable, but as your president, it is my duty not to conceal these hard truths, but to lay them before you so we may confront them together as a nation. The truth is, Hell is real, demons are real. Just see for yourself. We are not going to play this clip because I value my channel. All in all, however bad you thought Devil May Cry was going to be, it's genuinely so much worse. And please, dear video game developers, for the love of God, stop letting Addy Shanker handle your IPs. Oh God, that sounds so bad.
It does, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh.
Sorry, I like mentally died there a little bit.
It's really bad. America invades and takes over as Hell. That's a bad thing. I found something worse than Hell. Whatever Cameron Connery went through as he died after he died. Yeah. Suicide Squad and now this. Oh my God. VP Baines is unironically the best character. I mean, you'd have to be voiced by Kevin Conroy. In current age, let's hope they didn't allegory Trump. Oh. Lucia doesn't even exist yet in the timeline. What the fuck? I haven't played Devil May Cry. Full disclosure, I actually bought all the games. So I will at least be able to properly experience it instead of this crap. But did Kevin say, make Hell great again? I assume season 2 is already in production. I believe it is, actually.
Pretty sure he did come out and say, let's make Hell great again.
The Steam sale, huh? Yep. And then, besides this, did you see what Kirsha said?
No.
Okay. Kirsha responded saying, how much did they pay you to do this at Nuxtaku? Are you being held at gunpoint? And how did you convince Netflix not to race swap you? So apparently...
That's not Nuxtaku, is it?
I don't know. So I'm going to play this for chat. This is, I think, a Q&A by the actor of Dante in the show. Basically using Dante as a VTuber model.
I hate it.
Let me turn this up. Make sure you guys can hear it. Okay.
Hey, this is Dante. And yes, I've seen your thirst tweets. Let's read some. I'm broke, and I don't pay my phone bill. Yeah.
Oh.
The only trap I care about is the trap I set for demons. This is peak Dante is back. Wait, what? What are you saying? You know, I don't really feel comfortable being objectified that way.
That's not Nuxtaku.
They made a whole
No.
show about me. It's called Devil May Cry. It's on Netflix. Hey, psst, can you add me to your family plan? Please. Hey.
Oh, it's so bad. And yes, there was community noted. Is that posted or now obviously a lot of people here actually said that this is not, this is a joke. Even Kirsha said it was a joke, essentially. Yeah. Glad the OGVA for Dante isn't in the show. Yeah. I died of cringe, send insurance. It's so fucking cringe. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. So the fact that they've equated demons in Devil May Cry to Iraqi citizens during the Iraqi war after 9/11 is just... Why couldn't you be accurate and faithful to the original lore? Is it impossible for you?
Sounds like it.
Clearly it is. I think the original tweet got CM'd. Okay. So yeah. That's pretty much yeah. My God. That's Devil May Cry. It's a shit show. Do we want to turn our final smaller topic for the night before we send you all out to someone else? Because we're pretty much at 3 hours.
I need to go to bed soon. What do we have left?
Marathon.
Oh, what really is there to say about that other than just Marathon is going to be announced on April 12th?
Yep. Yeah, so... Oh. I'm trying to change the volume. Damn it. Yeah, Bungie basically announced that the game is going to be unveiled properly on April 12th.
I'm surprised this game hasn't been canceled. I'm going to be honest with you.
I hope it's good, but I don't think it will be.
Dude, you quit playing Destiny. You already know the answer.
Well, I know the answer. And that's the thing is, like, every game. Like, when we first saw Assassin's Creed Shadow, I was like, I hope this is good. It wasn't. Yes, Blue Blood. So, give me another extraction shooter, and it'll be canceled in less than a year. Yep.
What kind of games are extraction shooters again?
Like Escape from Tarkov.
Oh, okay. I've never played Tarkov.
Yeah, so they're cops. Yeah. Pretty much. So. Pretty much just, hey, it's coming out. Or we're just gonna get unveiled. I don't understand why they would make Marathon an extraction shooter, because it's the popular thing. Otherwise, chat, that is all we got for the night. Akko's gonna go to bed, so we're gonna send it out here. Again, chat, because Akko couldn't stream tonight, thank you all for coming over to my side and watching Nightwave. I greatly appreciate it. If you like the content I produce, or I would greatly appreciate a like, subscribe, hitting the bell for notifications. And again, for anyone new that's coming around, we're trying to hit 500 subs on YouTube, because chat has requested I play Resident Evil 7 when we hit 500 subs. So if you want to see me suffer, you want to see me not do great with horror, I would greatly appreciate you subscribing and getting us closer to that goal of 500 subs. I greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, Akko, when are you next live?
Wednesday, hopefully.
Wednesday, hopefully. Okay. And I will be on maybe Friday. I might not be on live Friday. We'll see. If not Friday, we will absolutely be on Saturday. I don't like horror either. I barely jumped to RE7. We'll see. I'm bad with horror. I'm like really, really bad with horror. So, chat, I will see you on maybe Friday. If not Friday, then Saturday. And Akko maybe on Wednesday. Depends. Where can I send you all? I can't write on YouTube. So the best I can do... I'm at the very least
going to do something midday on Wednesday to make up for the shit show of today.
Yep. Let's see. Where can I send you all? I would have said Cree, but Cree just ended not long ago. I can't send you on anyone on YouTube besides just sending you a link in chat. So, anyone on Twitch? No. Yeah, it's already 11. All right, chat. I think we're just gonna end their chat. Again, thank you for coming out. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. You both have a wonderful. Oh, sorry. You all have a wonderful night. Akko, you go to bed.
Bye, chat.
Bye, chat.